Breath of the Wild time. Oh, I love this game. I love this game so much. Let's switch over to... Oh, I forgot to mute stream. Shit. Something is wrong. Let me fix this. Right. I'm gonna have to fix this live. Shit. Didn't anticipate this problem. Um, let's see. Is it... Let us uncrop. And we will edit transform on the fly. Let's make it a little screen. I'm going great. I literally hope people show up uh to chat with. Just 'cause it'd be neat. I like it when my streams have company. I love talking to myself. But I like talking to people more. Call me a radical. Okay, that side's fixed. Now comes the arduous. Hang on. He is very tall and skinny. It does make him very small. He will be a small boy. Let's just get this brief of the week going on. Awesome. Can't see the map. Great. That's fine. Have I spelled Breath of the Wild right? Nope. There's a random letter R. There. Breath of the Wild. There's literally been no mistakes. I've been flawless. Come on. Hmm. I'm not gonna do freaking more maintenance. No, do I? Yeah, probably. Let's keep it at this. I'm sure everything's gonna go wrong for me. Where are we? We were at the Rito Village. Because I'm playing this again. I played it all the way back in 2017 when it first came out. And if there was ever an experience that I wish I could just erase from my mind and live again, come on. It'd be this. This is the game. This is the game that everyone can only ever experience once, and that saddens me. Like, literally, imagine how cool it would be. Oh, I wasn't focusing. I've only got 4 hearts. Ah, I'm gonna die. Run. Go on, go through that pond. Doo-doo. Awesome. It'd be really funny if my audio for the stream wasn't coming through my microphone, but this little headset that I've got on. Because I needed a new pair of headphones and was like, I'll just get the Cadio ones. Not thinking, these are wired and the cable's pretty short. Ah, no, shit. I keep forgetting that I don't have stamina. There's my washing machine going beep. I don't have anyone watching. I can easily... Look, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go fix it. My washing machine. That's the sort of stuff you do, my boss. Slightly longer. I hear you. Probably got issues soon. Let us go brief belief. Ooh, actually, maybe what I should do is I should just be in here in the voice channel, because that means eventually when people join, I can just say, hey, join the voice channel. And yeah, I won't have to join any calls, I won't have to tab out. Just love this game. It is so good. Just climb wherever you want. Let's see, where are we going? Be gone, bot. First of all, let's change weapon. Do we have a sword? We don't have a sword. Let's equip this. Hmm. I'm just in the voice channel. Groovy. Clink clank.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I just rewatched episode 1,
Right. Based on the
and
messages, I would have thought you were watching the stream that Jay and Stu did. And I was gonna say no spoilers because I haven't watched it yet. I've been at work.
I was watching that initially, and then I was like, you know what? Rather than them taking me through it, I want to do that myself.
Why would you do such a thing? Why would you hurt yourself like that?
I wanted to genuinely, like, after all the talk of, oh, it's too cluttered and there's too much in it, I wanted to honestly give it, like, a proper run through and go, how much of this is actually cuttable?
Um,
Quite a bit still, yeah.
yeah, I was about to say, what did you land on? It's like, is there anything essential? Oh man,
So,
I really love Breath of the
um,
Wild.
by what I wrote down, there were 23 scenes.
Right?
I think I would cut 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would cut 7 to 8 scenes, and I say 8 just because the flashes of each character, I'm like, I would obviously cut that down to just the characters that are needed in the episode.
Right.
Very telling that in that flash, you have like Claire pop up somewhere and go, "Oh no, I got hit by the weeping angel." But then there's a separate clip for the angel, and it's like Claire at least has a beginning, middle, end. Like you see her, she goes back to the house, she ends up there, and it's like, okay, that's at least a climax for her little mini story. You don't need the clip of the angel. That's just not. That's nothing.
Hmm.
And then the guy from Liverpool, 19, is it 82? I keep forgetting the year date.
1920.
Ah, 19. Sure, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know why I keep writing down 1982.
Well,
But like,
yeah, I also don't know why, because the Crimean stuff was in the 50s.
oh yeah,
The Liverpool stuff was 30 years before that.
yeah,
I remember we all thought like it was linked, like somehow he had something to do with like the Sontarans or some shit.
yeah. Because when they're talking about the tunnels, it's like it does actually sound like they're talking about something. It literally isn't just, oh, I'm building a tunnel. Why? Can't tell you. But it's still like there's not much in it. It's weird how the people in the tunnel have a conversation where he's like, "What are you digging for?" And he's like, "Oh,
Isn't the fact that I'm digging enough? I'm providing
yeah."
work and wages for the weary.
But then the other guy's like, "Oh, well, by the way, Mister Stonehenge, Mister Stonebridge, Mister Stone something wants to speak to you." And then they cut to above the tunnel where there's a separate conversation, and that conversation is, "What are you building the tunnels for?" "Oh, there's going to be a cataclysmic event." Like, it's supposedly setting up the flux, but we don't see the flux through Vinda or the Doctor until scene 14 and 18. So it's like the flux doesn't even come up as a notion until like halfway through the episode. So this guy saying, "Oh, there's a cataclysmic event," is just not necessary. And there's two single scenes in that one. Like they've got two settings for the one scene that doesn't do anything. It's
Hmm.
bizarre. So with the flashes, it's like you get the guy just staring off into the distance, and it's like we haven't seen him since that scene. We didn't get anything about the story in that scene, so there's no need to show a flash at the end of where he ended up, because he's right where he was.
Yeah, and that's exactly where he is next time we see him.
Yeah, my best bet is like he built the temple thing, because otherwise, why is he there?
Wait, what temple? He's in Liverpool.
But then the next time we see him, he's wandering in that little temple
Is
thing.
he? Wait,
Isn't he?
I thought they were still in the tunnels because he says wait, hang on. Is this when he sees Yaz or when he sees Dan? Because when he sees Dan, I swear
Oh,
he's still in Liverpool. Because Dan's like,
is
"Oh, are
he?
we above like Main Street? That's where I live." And
Oh,
the
yes,
old
true.
guy's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, of course. No, but we're miles from there because I'm insane."
Right. Yeah, I was thinking of the Yaz episode, not the Dan.
Right.
Yeah.
In the
What?
Yaz thing is I don't even think he's in Atropos.
See,
Because she teleports again, doesn't she? Like she sees
yeah, yeah,
him
yeah.
and she's like, "Oh, is something weird going on?" And he's got like he says, "Do you have reason to think something strange is happening?" And he
Yeah.
looks at her like, "Oh my god, someone else understands that something bad is approaching. Finally, someone who can understand my pain. But no, I must go alone." And then she just sort of
Yeah.
disappears and goes to Atropos. So
Yeah.
he's still in
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Right. That's even more confusing. But that
Mm.
was going to be my actual main point for what I've cut. Like, apart from the Dan doesn't want soup, I, I,
No, you
for
keep
the
that
purpose,
in. You keep the soup in.
I know, like, you have the scene where he's talking to Diane, he wants to go on a date with her, and then you just have him being like, "Oh, I'm going to win the lottery and I don't need soup." It's like, so the next scene establishes he doesn't have any food. So it's like, I guess it establishes he has too much pride, but that doesn't really factor in for anything.
Yeah.
The scene goes past, but We didn't need that because there's literally a clip. You could have just cut to the clip where he's being scanned by, I assume, Carvanista, not the machine, because the next scene is Carvanista coming to get him, but he comes to get him after after the trick or treat thing. So it's like there's just these damn moments that, apart from the one where he's talking to Diane, don't really establish anything we don't get from the Diane scene. Like it's better that he's talking to Diane, he goes home, and then Carvanista gets him. You don't need all this, don't be egging my house.
Don't
Or
throw eggs at my house.
it's like it's all random fluff.
I was
Like
just
Dan
quoting
is
Dan at work basically all day today, and my friend was just very confused. Because, like, he's seen the Evil Dan stuff, but, like, he doesn't have the context for basically anything. That, like, I'll
Yeah.
say, don't be throwing eggs at my house, and he'll be like, what the fuck?
It's weird how, like, the first time I saw it, I was like, man, this guy's like charming. Like he's got that spark to
He's
him.
delightful.
This time I'm watching it and he's just like, oh, scared me there, and I'm like, I know you're talking to kids, but I don't believe you. And then he's like, don't go egg in my house, and I'm like, man, he just turned on a dime.
I literally prefer the what is it, the Doctor Who poops of, like, he sees the kids and he's like, what? No, you're not even dressed up. No, be off with ya. And with the weird guy, he's like, ah, look at you.
I do actually find, yeah, it's. I think that's my problem with it. Is I'm looking at a lot of his dialogue and realizing it's interchangeable.
Yeah.
Like even with the I can't live in that. Like that was a really characterful moment the
No, it
first time.
wasn't.
But I thought it was like the way he's reacting. It's kind of funny, but now I'm kind of looking at it like it's like he has no idea what's happening. Like I took the he doesn't recognize Carvanista because he's like, oh, must be a Halloween costume. But the guy,
Do regular Halloween costumes break in with a laser fucking axe?
yeah, he kicks his door down, has
But
an axe.
that's literally the Chibnall problem of, like, characters not reacting.
Yeah, and it's sort of like it's at the point where Dan kind of seems he honestly just doesn't factor what's actually happening. Even like when he's like, oh, space, and he's like, oh, look at him trying to figure it out.
I'm in
He figures,
space. I'm taking you in my spaceship. Look at your
yeah, it's
little
like
mind trying to figure it out.
he figures out like that it's real and stuff, but then he's like, oh, when you say nothing's there, space. It's like he's a bit of an airhead.
A little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, apart from that, where I'm like, these are just like fluff scenes, where I'm like, they're not that bad, they're just not adding much. I would give or take them. Stuff like Swarm escaping, we don't get any explanation for how he escapes. But I genuinely wrote down for that and the Sontaran thing, move to episode 2. Like
I
you
wouldn't go
already
that.
have
I wouldn't even
Swarm.
do that. I think I would move it to episode 3, the escape. And
Yeah,
instead of starting off with, oh, hang on, no. It's really
yeah,
difficult with Belle's story because, like, I'm thinking put Swarm's escape at the start of episode 3 as, like, a flashback for him.
yeah, and that's why I'm thinking like if they want to go the route of every episode they introduce a new thing, I would have
Oh,
so the
Claire
first
easily move
episode.
it to episode 4.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We haven't seen 4 onwards. So I'm like, I would start. I would still. This is where I have to argue. The craft of it is still bad. But I would start with the Carvanista and Doc and Yaz versus Carvanista. Because it's like, that does open us up to what situation we're in. It's terribly comedic. And that's a weird thing to say. Like,
I think it has a lot of problems in that. So Carvanista's on his way to Earth to protect Dan. What the fuck is he doing? Putting the Doctor on this acid planet. Like
yeah,
he doesn't have time for this.
I wrote down literally tries to boil them alive, and then they both go, what? When he says the planet's gonna die? Like the what is so like it's so played up for comedy.
Doesn't
And then it's
Yaz
like
have a
planet
dog
explodes.
who's meant to be protecting her? He's doing a really
Yeah,
bad job.
well, it's yeah,
Grace has a dog that's meant to protect her. He did a really bad job. She's dead.
Actually, it is weird that later on he writes, so he does say, only in the ultimate crisis. So I guess nothing but the
Hey,
flux
remember
is
when the Tooth Fairy was using the Ooks to miniaturize your planet?
yeah.
That was 2 seasons ago. What about when Davros was going to turn Earth into like an engine, a world engine to destroy creation?
Yeah. No, none of these were the ultimate crisis.
But
Only
this one is because Chibnall said so.
yeah.
That's
And
like
even
every Marvel movie saying everything's been leading to this, when it's like, no, it
yeah.
fucking hasn't. It was all leading to Endgame, and even that was bullshit.
Actually, yeah, that's exactly it. Even though it is the ultimate crisis, only Covenanters showed up. They're even like, why was he ahead of them? There's a whole invasion fleet. Why did he get there first?
It's
Who knows?
gotta be because of his work with the Division. He's so used to time travel. But
Yeah,
even then, there's nothing in the text that supports that. It's just
yeah.
conjecture.
I came up with a theory myself that
Oh, this will be good.
he's no, no, it won't. That he's saving Dan because because he was part of the division, he's breaking rules and such. Like the rest of
Um,
the Republic sit back and block the Earth from a cataclysmic event, but they're not actually meant to intervene. Whereas Covenant is the only one who went, I'm taking you off world, I'm intervening, and then we're
um,
gonna find out like he's not meant to do that. But
the you,
yeah, nothing going.
yeah. The issue is the Doctor. No, not even. Like everyone within the division seems to be complicit with like following explicitly their orders, and it's not
Yeah,
until like the Doctor leaves that like anyone could be considered a rebel, and even then, it's just the Doctor. Because like we get who was it in Fugitive of the Jadoon? The
uh,
woman who was after Ruth?
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, whatever her name
Yeah,
is.
I
Um
remember.
she she says words to the effect of like, I'm loyal to the division. The division is good. Uh all praise Gallifrey. That like you get the impression that like, nah, the division's really just more Time Lord bullshit of like
Yeah,
single-minded. There's no individuality. They're not looking for recruits based on their individual strengths.
yeah,
Like if you're recruited for the division, chances are it's only because you feel like a number, not because you have any unique talent, because it's all central to the Doctor, apparently.
yeah. And that's the problem. I forgot about the Brendan stuff
Also,
until
why the
recently.
fuck is there a dog working with the Gallifreyans? Why?
Yeah,
But
because
also,
yeah,
the division stuff, like that's all the Doctor's past. So how long ago was that for Carvanista? How old is he?
that's what I was wondering. Because when she confronts him, she's like, "Tell me about the division," and he goes, "That's not a question I can answer." So we've been saying, why doesn't she hunt him down more? And he's like, "Oh, I can't tell you that." Like,
It's
we don't
because
know
he
why he can't tell you that.
won't.
But like, has it been that long that something happened in between that he now hates her? Because why was he trying to boil her alive?
Well, my question is like, does he like the division or not? Because it's not a question of like, does he hate the Doctor?
Yeah,
He probably just thinks she's annoying, more than anything. It's like, what's the point in staying loyal to the division, if they suck and they don't
well,
exist? Because he's in the present.
also,
He knows that Gallifrey doesn't exist.
yeah, she also indicated that he was the only division member left alive.
Hmm. Well, it does help that in the last time we saw the division, she kind of killed, or Ruth killed, the other operative with like
Yeah,
the
even though
reversal gun.
we saw two in
Hang
the
on.
psychic connection thing before he killed them both.
The reversal gun?
Yeah, what's her name? The Roof Doctor had like a gun that when fired, it would backfire on whoever's using it and kill them instead of the target. And she knew that and let the division lady take it and use it.
I
And
thought
like,
you were gonna say it was like what's the movie by Inception guy? where they all the bullets come back into the gun? Like
Oh,
when you see the
Tenet.
backwards gun. Yeah, that was in like a Tenet thing.
I have not seen Tenet.
No?
No.
Oh, he was the 10th Doctor, and he was pretty good in the role. Quite iconic, I think, to a lot of people.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad there's still these iconic roles out there. Oh shit, skeletons.
Skeletons of them.
Yeah, which reminds me, that's the thing about Swarm. He's like, he only shows up. We have the scene with the Doctor, come after Dan at the museum, and it's like, oh, we're back with the Doctor. Okay, what's that? And then before that scene even does anything, suddenly she gets a psychic message, and she's like, how am I seeing this? And he goes, just watch. And I'm like, yeah, why did you even need to say that? And why do you need to see this? Like, just have. If you want to do a big build-up mystery, you can literally have him show up at the end. And she's like, I don't know you. And he's like, well, we fought once. You don't need to have seen him before that at all.
I think
Every scene he shows up in is like, he escapes. Doctor didn't need to know that yet. She never mentions it. The, what is it?
She doesn't know she's trapped, but yeah, does she?
no.
Yeah, no, like when he rescues the sister, it's like you got the message scene that goes nowhere. Then the scene where he rescues his sister, you could have just had them both break out, and then you don't even need to see them break out. Just have him, like, have her be like, "What's the flux? What's going on? I'm tracking down Carvanista," and then at the end of the episode, go, "Oh, that's the flux," and then random skeleton guy shows up, and you're like, "Wait, what's going on?" And it's like, yeah, big cliffhanger mystery. This guy is somehow connected to the flux. End of first episode. Just have the Doctor chase Carvanista. The rest of it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I'd probably put Skeleton Guy in episode 3. Like, sure, you can have him breaking out, and that's just like more stupid setup for an already set up episode. But I wouldn't have him
It's
No worries to a
appear.
flashback. Sorry.
It's only trouble that in Sontaran episode, he does show up at the end of it. So I would put him escaping at the start just to bridge
I
it a
would
bit.
cut that whole episode and string 2 and 3, or episodes 1 and 3 over 3 episodes.
Yeah. Because that too, I'm like, the Sontarans in scene 19 are only there to establish they're going to be in episode 2. But they're only in episode 2 because they were set up here. Like, their inclusion isn't needed at all.
Luckily, it also doesn't go anywhere, so it's...
I'm so excited for the Weeping Angels next week. I'm sure that's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, I was tempted not to cut Claire only because she's the only one that doesn't really get in the way.
We
Like,
know
it's not
she's a
way
Maxine
to-
Alderton character. We gotta keep her.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is like with all the chasing Carbonista and Dan being chased by Carbonista, like the Doctor, Dan, Carbonista, Yaz stuff is all interconnected. It all kind of at least has a reason to be in the plot. Claire randomly shows up for like a minute, but she's the only one who's like there in between a scene. So it's at least like, oh, there's this lady here. Yeah, you know me later. Okay, cool. Bye. Like it doesn't do much, but it's not like cut away
Yeah.
to Claire doing her own thing. Like it at
She's
least
just
like,
there as a teaser.
yeah.
It's not
And
even
that's
doing
not-
timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, it's not a full-on cut to Liverpool, have them talk about something but never explain what they're talking about. That's just
Also,
useless.
That's why I'm more forgiving of the angel idea so far than the Sontarans. At least angels are like, there's some time bullshit, and angels love time bullshit, so...
Oh, but don't you get it? The Sontarans first showed up in the episode The Time Warrior. Therefore, they're inherently linked to time travel, I guess.
Also, should I check? Am I allowed to swear on your stream?
Yeah, sure, fucking go for it.
Okay, because I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna...
I'm pretty sure.
Good.
Yeah, I don't have filters anymore.
Oh,
just
good.
just
I suggest Sapia.
fucking go for it.
Remind me of our Limbo video. Just you swear.
Fuck,
the whole time.
motherfucker.
Oh,
Oh, I
good
should have
times.
played that for Halloween.
You should. I made my brother's girlfriend play it, which is very fun. Watching her learn the mechanics of a game and then be like, "Oh no,
I hope she was better at it than me.
no."
Speaking of Halloween,
Impossible.
it
I am the
reminds me-
king. I am the best.
Mhm.
the opening scene where it's literally like they're almost dying from boiling, planet exploding, and killer bots. And they're like, release! And they're like screaming, and it's all
Release!
CGI. And then we cut
You-
to Halloween Apocalypse, and it's like, your title is so, ooh, Halloween. Oh no, an apocalypse. But you
Oh
just
shit, a big
started
stone guy.
goofy, bumbling.
Oh, the surfboard. You forgot about the nearby dwarf star they were going to blow up as well. That's
Yeah, no,
very
that's what I mean by
important.
planet exploding. Like, it's 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 the most goofy thing followed by a title that implies it's going to be taken seriously.
Is Halloween Apocalypse sounding serious? Also, they didn't even go to like an old timey Halloween thing.
No,
And they're in the
there's
UK.
nothing.
You've got to do Halloween Apocalypse. It has to be like old timey pagan or American in the 1980s. You can't just be like, oh, we've gone to the Gulf War.
Yeah, keep in mind
Happy
that
Halloween.
when they cut from Halloween Apocalypse titles, they cut to the Liverpool scene. Like that's the worst way to be like, here's the title of the episode anyway, the most irrelevant thing to this episode.
Uh,
I'm gonna be
at least
honest.
we're talking about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot that the episode was called the Halloween Apocalypse because yeah, it's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with anything. It's not an
It says
apocalypse.
Happy Halloween.
Trick or treat,
Yeah,
Doctor.
That's right. That's what he
yeah.
says.
He only
Oh
says
God,
that.
fucking imagine if he said Happy Halloween, Doctor.
Who
That'd
said,
somehow be
ho,
worse.
ho, ho, Doctor.
That's the trick though. Like that whole scene is only there as an excuse for the Doctor to know that he exists. And then he only says trick or treat because it justifies that the Doctor is seeing it. Otherwise, he doesn't need to say that. But he needs to say that because then Yaz has to say, trick or treat. Because if she says that and he doesn't, it makes no sense. So it's
And
all these scenes are
if,
justifying each other despite not achieving anything.
if someone said to you, Halloween, how would you explain to them what Halloween is? Because I wouldn't say trick or treat. I'd say costumes and
Yeah.
I'd,
You know,
I,
stolen pagan
Halloween.
ritual.
I think I would sort of expect the person I'm speaking to know what Halloween was.
What if, say, it's a time traveling alien, for example, who somehow always missed Halloween?
Uh, hmm.
For
It's
example.
it's a capitalist conspiracy to sell more sugary things than people need on average.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like the costumes are pretty important because every day in America is a capitalist conspiracy to sell more
Oh
sugary
yeah.
things than people
Oh,
need.
absolutely. Yeah. You got me there.
I don't know. Also, right, if you want to make it sinister, I know they did Halloween because that's when it came out. But if he's from her past, what would actually give me chills? If instead of saying Happy Halloween, he was like, oh, not happy, trick or treat. If he said Happy Birthday, Doctor, she'd be like, what? He's like, don't you remember? It's your birthday. And be like, how does he know? Because he probably knows. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but the thing
I'm
is,
just
they've
saying.
already done a similar thing with Missy back in what is it, Death in Heaven, where like the Doctor's like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you creating an
Oh,
army of
yeah.
Cybermen?" And she's like, "It's your birthday, don't you remember, you big dingus?"
You're right, and this era is nothing if not original. I don't know. So, Nick, I said this to Brenton the other day.
Right?
You just get the call. Ring, ring, ring. Oh no, Chibnall
Wow, that's my
jumped off a
ringtone.
building. Yeah, Chibnall's
Those
jumped off a
exact
building.
words.
You might not... He survived, don't worry. He's not going to tell us how, though. He's
But
done a Sherlock.
he wrote your
He's gonna
name
come back
on
in
this
here.
in this notebook. We don't know if it's a death note or like his will.
No, we've done a global lottery to see who takes over Doctor Who. And your name came up. Just said Neko. We had to check with a lot of people, but you're the one.
I am the original,
he's-
some might say.
Yeah, well, apparently not. Anyway,
I'm just a
you have to take
copycat.
over the show. You have to take over the show right now. You are now in control. You get to edit the rest of this season.
Oh, I wouldn't want
And-
that.
You have to. I'm sorry, you're in charge of the season and the specials to set up the next Doctor. Davies is
Oh,
still
no.
taking over after, but you have to finish out this season.
Oh, that's not how it was pitched to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to do it. He jumped off a building. No one knows how he survived. He won't. People
No,
keep
but like
putting theories. He
I've
just
been
laughs
thinking
at
about
them.
this all day of like what would I do with Doctor Who, and I mostly just landed on like, well, I would have it so it's a I would go the Sherlock release model where it's like a few like hour-and-a-half specials released over a year, rather than serialized or sort of episodic weekly television. Because I feel like an hour isn't long enough to tell the sort of stories that are really that engaging. So the
Yeah,
hour and a half is like you got your setup, you got your exploration, and you got ample time to do a decent resolution. Um,
yeah, that's fair. I
uh,
guess I'm not sure how good Doctor Who can sustain a particularly serious story. I think if you go for an hour and a half, more and more holes will appear. I think that's partly why, for me, this era has struggled. It's because they're all an hour long, and they feel like they should have ended 15 minutes before they do. Like they drag for me,
well, that's
even though there's a lot
why
going on.
I feel like this sort of model would be like you'd get your two-parter stories, but you'd only have them in like one episode rather than split across the two. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
so
Yep.
like instead of a very neat cliffhanger and you got your part one and part two, you just got like just more story, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
I'm gonna have to
How
drop out.
long?
I've got a migraine, so.
right.
Okay. How long was Day of the Doctor?
It was about an hour and 10 minutes, I think.
Okay.
I think. So like, you could still do a lot in like an hour and a
Yeah.
half. Um, and like if Day of the Doctor still needs like hours of discussion to just understand the fucking timeline. Um, but
It's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
the only real story idea I have is like take the cyber hospital sort of idea that I had at the start of last year when we were going like we should
Mm-hmm.
make a Doctor Who thing.
We
Uh,
should make our own fan thing. We'll have better production value and better attention to detail.
I'm sure we'll have one of those two things.
We'll be able to film on our fucking TARDIS set.
Um,
I swear they're avoiding filming in it. Anyway, sorry.
uh, I well that's really it. Like I don't really have much more to go off of other than the idea is it's set after a sort of modern era Cyberman war. Um, the Doctor will appear and immediately leave the episode, going like, "I've solved this Cyberman war for you. Now you'll never need my help again. I'm leaving." Because I kind of want to criticize the handling of Cybermen in the modern era, where they like just turn them into a robot army.
Yeah.
When like the idea of the Cybermen, at least as I understand them, is like it's not about becoming stronger and conquering other other races and other life forms. It's just about survival. Like it's about
Yeah.
trading organic dying parts for something that'll live forever to combat death. That's always really
Yeah.
interesting to me. So when they take it and they go like, but what if they're an army? I'm just like, no, please, please go
I
back
mean, they
to
do rob you
World
of
Enough
your
in Time.
agency. Don't they
I
always?
yes,
I don't know.
but I would want to see the Cybermen in the classic series were still quite capable of like sass and sort of individual thought. Like they do have
Yeah.
some level of personality. It's the uniformity that I don't like, and I would want to be flexible with
Hmm.
it. That's why I really like the lone Cybermen idea in this era, and I think it's quite well portrayed in The Haunting of Villa Diodati. But the idea is like he's meant to be like a partially converted, so like God knows how that really works, considering it's like half his face is missing. But like, uh,
Yeah.
you have room for him to be like a completely unique entity with like wants and desires that sort of go beyond supremacy of the cyber race.
Yeah.
So I'd want to do like a cyber hospital set in like a welfare state. We'll call it satellite because I'm, the opposite of original. And you would just, I imagine the first part of the episode is exploring two sort of storylines. The first is a doctor character who is given a Cyberman suit to study, and he starts using parts of that to create sort of cures for injuries and stuff. Like he'll be like, they have this pain suppression thing. I'll use that as an antiseptic. No. What is it? Anesthetic. Sorry.
Oh, doctor character, you mean medical doctor, not
A
the doctor
medical
doctor.
doc.
Right,
No,
right,
because like
right.
the idea is to get the doctor out of this story. Because I think the
Yeah.
second you introduce the doctor, you got to go like, okay, and then the Cybermen are evil, and that's it.
Yeah.
And like I really want to play around with just the idea of like there's this hospital and it's upgrading people, because that's sort of the Cybermen prerogative, but it's always up to the individual. Like it's not pushing propaganda or anything. It's just going like, we're gonna give you the best life we can with these cyber parts, but it really raises the questions of the individual then of well, what defines I guess I'm using air quotes, but like human. Like if you were fully
Yeah.
converted, you might have the best life, and like I really don't want to criticize that because I feel like I run the risk of going like, and prosthetic limbs are bad, and that's definitely not the
Yeah.
message I want to give. But it's really a question of like, if you are doing it to survive, that's one thing. If you're doing it for cosmetic, and that would be a sort of ongoing thing in the narrative of like, you're able to cure, say, cancer, but then at what point do you go like, ooh, I want the upgraded model that looks nicer and makes me feel superior. I don't want to take the autonomy away from these individuals. I want them to be like wanting characters. I want them to be like, yeah, I want to have the upgrade that makes me feel superior to others.
Does it have to be Cybermen, I guess? Because I
Well,
think that could just be any cyborg augmentation, couldn't it?
I think so, but it's set in the Doctor Who world. And
That's true.
that's the thing, is like when I was developing the cyber hospital idea further last year, I was removing all the Doctor Who elements. So this is really just like the remnants of that. Like when I was told, oh, if you were in charge of Doctor Who, what would you do? I was like, well, I would take that script idea, which originated from Doctor Who, and just put the
And
Doctor
make it
bits
Doctor
back
Who
in.
again.
Yep.
See, I guess for me, Doctor Who is not Doctor Who. Cybermen are really about the body horror. That's why I
Yeah.
hated the one where they went to the what was they went to like the theme park
Oh,
and they're like pulling
Nightmare
their
in
heads
Silver.
off.
Yeah.
I really hate that because they weren't, weird humans. They
Yeah.
weren't, it wasn't
Yeah.
body horror, which is like
World
here's
Enough in
some
Time is
robots.
like peak.
Which I've totally forgotten which one that
That's
is.
the one where
Oh,
Bill
that's
is turned into a Cyberman.
yeah.
Because like,
Though I did like the ridiculous chainsaws they had to turn them in the Russell Davies era.
oh yeah, no, that like I don't mind the Russell
Ridiculous.
T Davis era stuff. It's just that like I've now seen in the modern era like my version of the Cyberman story,
Yeah.
and like I'm just so enamored with it.
Yeah.
But like, just the creeping onto Bill, like she has the chest thing all throughout basically the whole episode, and you go like, it's gonna happen at some point. It's just this feeling of dread. It's like, when is she gonna be converted, or is this a real gradual thing and she's just gonna like
Yeah.
appear in a scene and she's gonna have like the chest piece expands and it's covering more of her body. Fuck, even the scene where like she's wandering around and she goes up to the patients and she hears one of them saying like pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the nurse just
True
turns the volume
fucking
down. It's
horror.
like, holy shit. It's like,
Actual nightmare stuff.
yeah, Stephen Moffat, 2 years, no, not 2 years ago, but like 2 seasons ago, you had it so that like Missy was saying, oh, the dead can still feel pain, and there's a message saying "Don't cremate me." I was like, that was fucked up. But somehow the Cybermen feeling pain and
So
just
that was a
turning the volume
lie or
down.
whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, of course
Yeah.
it was a lie. Like it was still fucked up, and kind of chilling. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
undone. I guess.
Yeah.
Like fuck,
That whole
I could.
Missy twist. Everyone's like, I bet I know.
Mm,
But okay, so what if you had to salvage this season? What would you do?
if
How would you take the pieces from
I,
these first 3 episodes and in 3 episodes wrap it up?
I,
Just have her wake up. It was all a dream.
um, I feel like I'm not allowed to do that. I feel like I need to actually be sort of serious about it.
Yeah.
I would, for starters, ooh, I don't know if I would do the Weeping Angels. I,
At all?
yeah, I feel like I'm stuck into them though because of
You have it
episode 1.
ending with an angel on the ship as well. That's it.
Yeah,
Ended at the
damn
cliffhanger.
it. I would, instead of sending
Angel road
do
trip.
do I have to stick with they're in the 1960s and an entire town is about to
Nope.
be cool, because that was in the
The
next time
next time
trailer.
trailers haven't happened. Yeah.
Okay,
It's just
instead
yeah.
of um instead of sending them back to the 1960s, I would send them back to say the Weeping Angel, instead of piloting the TARDIS, applies the brakes and sends
Mhm.
them back to the time of the division.
Okay.
So the Doctor is able to go and resolve that plot, and that's episode 4 done.
Okay.
And then episode 5 will.
How is that plot
I
resolved?
don't know. I don't know. Please stop asking me questions.
That's the tough bit.
Yeah, that's no. I just wouldn't have it be a sort of Sontaran thing. I wouldn't have it be a sort of separate thing. I would want to send them somewhere is strictly plot related.
Yep.
But send him back to the 1820s to talk about the tunnel digging guy, because like
Yeah.
he's got to be relevant at some point.
I forgot about that. Every time I forget about him, I'm
That's the
like, oh,
thing.
he's fun.
He's been
It's
in
fun.
every episode, and every time he's been like, calamity's coming, and it's like, okay, how are you gonna fix that? By digging a tunnel.
I liked him in episode 2.
I liked his interaction
But I
with
thought,
Yaz. Yes.
yeah, I thought he was in you there though. I didn't remember he was in episode 1. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's it's the thing is, apparently he's a historical figure. But don't ask me to like explain anything about him. I know fuck all. I've just been told it's like there's this weird guy who dug tunnels and stuff in like the 1800s.
My best bet is that what's buried underneath in the tunnels is like the time ladies in a circle. That's what that
The
is.
Muri, the Temple of
Yeah.
Anthropos. But the thing is, it's not a
Yeah.
planet time, so is time Earth?
Yes. And that's why humans always forget the aliens, because it's time trying to correct itself. And that's why the Doctor's so into Earth. Again, best bet, because otherwise there's no connection and it bothers me.
Yeah,
What's he digging? What's he gonna find? The TARDIS.
it's okay. Yeah, it's probably got to. Ooh, there's an idea. I would send the Doctor a bit further back than that.
Mm-hmm.
I would send the Doctor and the Co back to say 1800. And then for 20 years they've been living underground, locked in the silence. And then
Like Bender in Futurama, just traveling back and just sitting there for.
yeah, something like that actually. And what
that'd be
he's trying
so
to do is he's trying to dig them up. So yeah, you'll have the scene where he's like, "Oh, my work is complete." You'll have like people running through the tunnels, going, "We found it! We found it!" Crazy Liverpool guy, and he'll be
Yeah.
like, "Finally!" And it'll do a tracking shot as he approaches the TARDIS, and he just knocks on the door, and the Doctor comes out, and it's like, ah, yes, the plot can resume now.
That would be kind of fun. That'd be pretty cool.
I,
I
I
wish he was interested in museums, not just Liverpool, because then it'd be like, oh, traveling in time and space. That does sound fun.
yeah. Well, that's the thing.
I
It's
want to
like,
learn.
how many of these characters actually have substance?
Do you reckon they make him like Liverpool so at the end of the miniseries when he leaves, he can be like, oh, I love time and space, but Liverpool's the best thing there is. I don't need to see the rest. 'Cause
Um,
Liverpool's right here.
that's if they don't kill him off. Um,
They won't.
no,
Then
but
they
like,
need to have 300 characters. They can't be killing people off.
huh. Remember when
Well,
death meant something in Doctor Who?
I just love that. So Yaz is the Doctor's like plus one, and then her
Yeah,
plus one is what's his name?
Vinder.
New Vinda, and then we get Vinda's
I mean,
wife
I've been
story.
calling him Grey Worm because of Game of Thrones.
My phone keeps trying to say Cinder, so I'm just leaving it as that most of the time. But right, surely Belle has to meet up with the gang. Otherwise, we've got two people who have nothing to do with the plot, just wandering around space trying to meet each other.
Yeah,
Like,
and that
she
that
has
would
to meet
be
up now.
that would be interesting for like an episode, a Doctor Light. Maybe actually that's
Yeah,
really it. My ideal version of Doctor Who at the moment is just Doctor Light stories. Like
yeah, fair.
because I think the universe is very narrow when the Doctor is involved because you've always got to have your
Yeah.
hero triumphs over evil story. But like remove that and it's like, oh, you've got to actually build everything up from the ground up.
Who are you casting as your light doctor?
My light Doctor,
Hmm.
Terry Crews, the lightest.
Doctor loves yogurt.
I know fuck all about Terry Crews.
Um,
Um,
so you're
I
casting an American, bold choice.
hmm, I don't know who I would cast as a Doctor.
Cast Daniel Craig just to put another legacy role that he
Uh,
would hate.
um, I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Like, I'm not that enamored with any particular actor.
Yeah,
Okay,
fair.
I'll cast Jodie again and be like, this time we're gonna get it right.
Does she regenerate into herself? Give her a different color wig and different
Um,
costume?
yeah, no,
Like,
no, she can
I'm
have
a
this.
whole new person.
She can
And
have the
that's how
same
they're like,
costume. She just wears it inside out.
so like, people being like, oh, you're so different, Doctor. Is it really still you? Wow.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't really care for the conversation about like who do you want as the Doctor. I'm just like, I'll just take it or leave it,
Yeah,
whatever.
fair. I'm thinking if you had to run the show though. Like I'm just trying to figure out how we'd resolve this season
I
because I
Here's the thing.
so
I've
many.
seen some leaks that I now believe. No, I saw a video. I think Tharies made it. That was going over like some supposed leaks, and I think after the last
Okay.
episode, I think Brenton's right about like there's an angel appearing in the time stream or whatever. And I think that was a detail mentioned that like the weeping angels are sort of pawns of Swarm. From like his universe, and they're like eating.
Oh
They're trying to eat time energy for some reason. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like
wait, Swarm was from a different universe.
something like that. Because like I
Why?
got to assume that the woman who showed up at the end of this episode is also, if she's not the woman who stole the timeless child last season, she's got to be from at least existing in another universe or ancient Gallifrey, one of the two.
Yeah, or just get outside of it. So you saw the frog. I'd love it if if the frog
That's the
wins the
thing.
day.
I am actually a fan of the frog. I like the frog.
Oh no, me too. That was the best episode that season because it allowed
Yeah,
itself to be weird. Except for, come along, Graham. I had to let go of my dead wife. It's really sad.
yeah. But like
Come along.
I quite like that. I liked the scene where Grace is like, "Oh, we can stay here forever," and like it's very on the nose, but like Graham's like, but what about Ryan? And like his concern for a living person who he feels responsible for is what snaps him into realizing it's an illusion. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's peak. More of that, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, these characters have character.
Yeah,
Remember? Nope.
yeah. And they're given meaningful
Ah.
conflict.
So I thought you were going to say this was a Weeping Angel's origin. I
Oh
would
yeah, no, no,
thought
no.
that the
Like
broken
that would have
Maori were going to be Weeping
I
Angels.
I would have preferred that, to be honest.
Because
But like,
that kind of makes sense, but nope. Okay.
but yeah, apparently they're like from a different universe. The Weeping Angels. So that's a sort of pseudo origin. Still know fuck all about them, but hey, we know where they're from, I
If
guess.
there's no point calling a different universe that doesn't. It's just like okay, it's just continued timeline. Doesn't actually change anything. They're just from an earlier time,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like I was saying something and now I've forgotten.
Sorry.
No, it's fine, because like, hey, conversation's still going. It's just not the one that I was No, I'm just kidding. I literally can't remember what it was. Something about leaks. So uh probably doesn't help that I'm playing video games while trying to talk.
Can you spoil this for me, just so I know if I should bother watching the rest of the season? Do
Um
the leaks say that the Doctor is the kid of that couple?
um
Is the child in Bell?
I don't. Oh no, not the child and Belle. I don't remember though if they say it's the child of Swarm, and that Swarm is like her dad. Because I remember the leak saying that in the final episode, the Doctor goes back to ancient Gallifrey and meets with Tecteun, who is the woman who stole the timeless child from the portal thing, and we assume that
Well, she
that's
was abandoned there, not stole. I don't know. I
well,
didn't
no,
really
no.
watch
She,
last
she
season,
she
but
was abandoned at the portal, presumably having fallen through it. But like,
Mhm.
Tecteun is the Gallifreyan or the Shibogan woman who traveled there and found the timeless child. And I say stolen because it's just funnier.
is Shibogan the old name for Time Lords? Is that what?
It's the native people of Gallifrey. It's no longer
Okay.
Gallifreyan, it's Shibogan. Well, I mean, it's Gallifreyan in
Well,
the modern, but like in ancient
Sh-
history, in ancient retcon history, it's Shibogan.
Shibogan sounds like something Cyborg would say in
Booyah!
Teen Titans. Shibogan.
God damn it.
Um, that's dumb. Though I now kind of want him to be her dad just because it just
Well,
doesn't make much sense.
yeah.
It
So
would just be so dumb.
the Doctor meets with Tecteun and
Hmm.
Ruth, I think. And their purpose there is to get uh a a a vial of like regeneration energy that they're going to sprinkle on the flux to destroy it. So like regeneration energy is apparently the thing that'll get rid of the flux.
Comes in a vial.
Well, that's what the
The
leak said.
flux is so big. The flux is consuming the universe. They got a
Yeah.
little vial to it.
Yeah, but just think, if the flux is taking life, regeneration energy is giving life, so a little bit of it is gonna go a long way.
Is the flux taking off or just like because right now I still have no idea what the flux actually is. It's a
Yeah, I
big
also don't know.
red space wave. Because all the interesting time stuff in this last episode wasn't the flux.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest,
It
like,
was the other time shit.
eventually I'm gonna get to the end of what I remember of the leak, but like, it's honestly insane to me that this last episode was called Once Upon Time, and we
Yeah.
spend the entire episode, not upon time.
Well, Jodie's stuff was upon time, but
Yeah,
that
but
happened
like,
twice.
that's like 10 minutes of the episode. There's still another like
Yeah.
50 minutes of like Dan's in Liverpool, but now he's with Diane, and he says that he loves his ex-partner more than the person who's around him.
He said he loved her. He was gonna marry her. That's a
Yep,
bit of normal
it was
sadness.
15 years ago.
Yeah, clearly had an effect on him.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not
Was
doubting
like
that, and
at the
like
altar.
that's yeah, no, I'm not denying it's a significant thing. I'm just saying in like the context, um,
Yeah.
uh, it just seems off because like you know why as an audience why she's asking, and the fact that he's too, I guess, blindsided to understand why she's asking, like, why are you single, in that sort of way, as like maybe there are ways to discuss your ex in a way that doesn't upset people who are
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
Hmm.
Oh, there's some weird choices.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go back, they sprinkle it on the flux, which we still don't know what it fucking is,
Yeah.
and it
My thought of like, oh,
heals
it.
the universe.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really upset if it turns out they're just gonna undo the flux and every planet just reverts back to where it was. Um, because it's just a massive cop out. Like,
Also, if okay, the flux is killing life, why is it called the flux and not the life killy stuff? Because flux doesn't mean destruction.
well, no, it
That's
doesn't. That's why I really like the idea that the flux isn't destroying things; it's just dispersing them in space and time. Because like that leads to the really interesting
yeah.
sci-fi thing of like, oh, so in the future, planet Earth isn't like necessarily in our solar system. It could be next to Mondas. It could be around the corner from like the Sontaran place, and you can do really interesting sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I think it does unground this Who a bit if they did do that too much. But I do like at least playing with that a bit.
I
And
think.
it doesn't make sense if it's destroying everything then. They can't do that. They can't say it does that if they're also saying it's destroying everything and has if regeneration energy is a solution. I hope your leaks are wrong.
Yeah, I hope it's wrong as well because like apparently there's a line that the doctor has to Tecteun. She's like, you were a brilliant mum, but I'm gonna go kill dad."
They
Um
text the mum, but
yeah,
she looks not
well
okay.
no, Tecteun is the woman who experimented on the timeless child, remember? So
Oh, okay, yes, I
so
watched that.
yeah, so any dialogue that says you are a good mum is like, no, no, stop. I get that you're trying to have like your
Yeah.
fun moment of like, oh, she provides you the exact thing you need at the right time. What a great mum. But it's like, no, she's a horrible person who experimented on children.
I does that mean that the doctor, if she hadn't been fucked up by the non-time lords, I'm not going to call them the Shibuya. Is that right?
Yes,
Shibuya?
Shibuya.
Okay, I thought
Shibugi.
I was talking bullshit. Um,
No, they're Shibogan.
oh, Shibogan. I'm gonna call them, yeah, the Booyah then. Fine. I don't care. Um, does that mean that her natural form would be a big crystal like the others?
Um, presumably. But that's the thing, it's like, in episode 1, was that them regenerating? When, like, he got out of the time prison and, uh, uh, he sort of glowed a bit, and I'm riding a deer. Oh, that's so cool. Like, if that's regeneration, it makes sense then that the Doctor's true form probably looks like a crystal person. Not that they're ever gonna show us that.
I mean, they do. I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be like Loki looking like
A,
an
a,
ice giant.
a
Frost
blue a
giant.
blue boy.
Yeah. I okay. Wait. So I'm having thoughts. They hurt me. I mean, it would explain because okay, if he is her dad, that would make sense for this era to say, considering her TARDIS is so crystalline. Like it's a deliberate parallel,
Yes.
which I hate, but it would seem like there's intention. Also, I like that Capaldi said, "Am I a good man?" and so regenerated into a woman. Like I don't have to answer that question now.
Mm,
Am I a good person? Eh,
the answer is unequivocally yes.
no, no. I'm gonna just be counter. Yeah, I don't.
I'm
Why would they want to give us the entire origin? It just seems
the
stupid.
the thing is, the take that I've seen about it, like just on Twitter, has been like, Oh, finally, the Doctor has become a good audience surrogate because now she's asking questions that us, the audience, are asking. Like, who is she?
He's not meant to be the audience
Yeah,
surrogate.
no,
What?
absolutely. Like,
Why are
the...
you watching Doctor Who, you idiot?
Yeah, I don't know, but like, maybe it's just because of the algorithm, but most of the discussion I've seen about this episode, or these episodes on Twitter, has just been very uncritical of it. And I'm like, oh, can someone please just like Harry, you and your moving media or whatever your name is now. Can you
Well,
just...
Harry quit Doctor Who.
Did he?
Who gave up last? Remember someone last season was like, I
Us.
mean, he's doing some now. Who?
Us.
Oh yeah, us. But yeah, no,
Um,
there was definitely someone who said, "I'm just done. I'm not going to stop
I
covering
think it
it."
was
But I guess
Stu
because this is,
Bagful.
I don't ever watched that. I don't know. I guess though, also on Twitter, the people who are still watching this era are forgiving of it.
Yeah, well,
Most of them.
I would
I don't know.
understand being forgiving of like it's a serialized story. It's trying to do something unique. But now we're at episode 3, and it's very clear that it's not.
Yeah,
That like, oh, please stop.
I still the dog people really wind me up still. Where have they been in every other
No,
apocalypse?
exactly.
Why
It's...
is there only one of them?
I said
And
this.
why isn't he good at it?
I definitely said this to Brenton earlier, but like, it's like every Marvel movie trailer saying it's all been leading to this. This is the most apocalyptic event ever, and it's just like another Ant-Man film
Yeah.
of like, um, you're clearly saying that because you want your thing to be like the big thing. I was like,
I like they're getting weirder though. I do like that the Marvel movies are getting
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
weirder.
And like, I like Shang-Chi. It was quite neat.
Yeah. I wish they'd spent more time in the
Hello.
village.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, they quickly learned some skills. I feel like they should have had
They had
more
a whole
time.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Also,
I'm
their aunt is in everything now. It is wild to me. She's in
really,
like
because like I
so
recognize
many
her, but I
things.
can't like picture.
Yeah, I'll get you her IMDb. Um,
Because it's just one of those I guess one of those actors that like the second she appeared on screen I was like, ah, yes, talent.
because she
Not
was
to
in
say anyone else in the film was untalented. I think like everyone's doing a really good job in this.
their dad, the not Mandarin, is so. I'm like, that is an attractive man. I'm not
Tony Leung.
normally give a shit, but damn.
Yeah,
All right, let's
he's quite
see.
handsome.
Michelle Yeoh, that's her name.
Right.
Okay. She is in. Which of these have you seen? The nominations. Where's it just a normal list? Come on.
I can't wait for it to just be like
Special
none of them.
awards. Oh, she's never been in anything.
No, I mean none of the things that I would recognize.
Nah,
I,
yeah, fair. Maybe she should be the next Doctor Who. That'd
maybe.
wind people up. Alright. You would know her from... Oh, she's in Avatar 5 and in Avatar 4.
Oh wow, when are those coming out?
Which they're filming. 2028 is Avatar 5.
Yeah, I know. The issue that's the issue
I
with
want to be dead by then. It's
I'm not
so
looking
far
forward
ahead.
to the Avatar sequels. I haven't even seen the first one.
Avatar 2. It's. Have you seen Fern Gully?
Is that the animated film with the bat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the exact same movie. Here's a wood chopper. He goes there, gets turned into one of the fairy folk. A tree gets killed. They learn how to fly on some
Ah,
critters. It's the same movie.
just like in Watership Down.
Well, you know her from Shang-Chi.
Yep. Oh wow, she
Uh,
was in that?
yeah, she's in Star Trek Discovery, so I know her a lot from.
Right.
Gunpowder Milkshake. I saw the trailer for that, and she's in that.
Yeah, I saw that
Who else?
Lena Headey, I think, and Karen Gillan were the stars, and I was like, oh, I'll check that
Yeah.
out one day.
It it looks like every generic kind of actiony movie,
Oh
with the
yeah,
twist
sure.
being they're women. And I'm like, okay, give me more than that. That's not a selling point, really. I don't watch them anyway, these clips anyway. Um, she's in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on one of the ships at the end. She's a Ravager
Oh,
King.
yes, I know. She's the one with
Yeah.
like the dark hair. Because
The
like
one who
hell
looks like
yeah.
her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Um,
My
she's,
two Marvel characters.
yeah.
Like
She's in The
at
Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor,
I haven't seen that one. I was gonna say, at least
and
they
in
had the
Infinity
decency to kill Gemma Chan's character in Captain Marvel before recasting
Why
her
did
in.
they'll never meet?
Hmm,
She's in The Stunt Woman,
haven't seen it.
Super Cop 2,
Nope.
Butterfly and Sword. Actually sounds like a cool thing. Anyway, she's a producer. The Owl vs. Bumbo in 1984.
What?
Um, Movie night?
Yeah, I was literally about to say, it's like, we should do that. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, she's gonna look so young. She's not even a star. She's gonna be an extra in the background. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Owl vs. Bumbo does sound like it could be the season final name. Oh, what's the final
It's
episode
The
called again? I saw.
Vanquishers.
Yes, that what the leaks suggested as well ahead of
Um,
time.
I don't know. All I know about
Wait,
the finale was apparently like an asset, uh, um, web page directory or something, was sort of inspected or leaked or something, and people were able to discover that it was called The Vanquishers until
okay.
the BBC or whatever like changed
Oh,
something around and stopped that from being the case. And then they
have you
revealed it was The
seen?
Vanquishers anyway.
Have you seen they've been like making the Doctor Who logo look more and more cracked and beat up on all the like
I
official
have,
pages?
but I've literally not cared about that because it's not going
Yeah,
to mean anything.
I was gonna say, what does it link to? Because it,
Best I
as
could
far as I
say,
can tell, nothing's cracking. Her sanity?
best I could say is like they're using it as like it's just going to get progressively worse over the next year until they reveal the new RTD one.
I know you said RTD, but in my heart, I heard Auntie D as like slang for Auntie Donna, and I
Right.
thought that would be the worst possible people to take over Doctor Who. Oh, yeah, I don't. So the Vanquishers, I'm sure they're gonna get the gang back together, right? Of the original fucking
Yep, they're going
whatchamacallits
to
that
get
have been
Christopher
fired.
Eccleston and Billy Piper.
No. I mean the division. They're gonna get
Oh,
that squad back together to be like, we're doing it. We are going
the
to
issue is we only know two of the
reunite.
members. We only know the doctor and the dog person. So
Yeah,
who are the other two people?
filler and filler.
Yeah, well,
Right.
exactly. Comic relief and exposition.
If only. They got Bill and Nardole back. What if it was?
I really missed Bill and Nardole.
Yeah, people hated Nardole. I thought it was alright.
I didn't like Nardole until like maybe halfway through. I think it was like the Monk trilogy
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, I actually appreciate this character.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, it would be cool to have like me and like not me, but the character
A
me, who I still
Shielder
hate. Yeah, and
and
what I was
Clara.
gonna say? And Clara, if they are the two like division members, like people that heard these, or the Doctor's daughter, like other immortal beings that have been left
Susan.
behind, who the division might want to control. Yes, they've got Susan.
Oh,
Um,
here's the thing.
I mean, like, who else would the division want, and why a dog person who's linked? Because assumedly, are the dogs live forever, or is he just from the future and the
Well,
division time traveled him?
that's
Can the
the annoying
dogs
thing.
time travel?
That's literally something I said to Brenton earlier. Is like the division stuff is set in the past, apparently, because like the Doctor's past. So like, does the dog live forever? How old is the dog? Why is the dog there? Can the dog go away, please?
I mean, with time travels in the Doctor's past, for all we know, the division could be in the far future.
The that's the issue with placing anything in the Doctor's past at this point, is like the character has lived for a very long time, that like it's very difficult to put things in their past that then they don't know about, especially something as expansive
Yeah,
as the Division and the Timeless Child. And I get their
because
whole
you'd
thing was
bump
meant to be
into it.
secret, but yeah, like yeah, it's a surprisingly small universe that you're able to run into Davros like 7 times.
I unless something's keeping her away, the TARDIS is keeping her away from her past.
Oh, I'm really
I
glad
don't
it's
know.
doing a bad job of that now.
Yeah, well now it's broken because they can't film on it. Maybe because she's never on the TARDIS, that's why it's not happening anymore.
Right. There was the theory
I'm
though that the TARDIS is dying, and like I'm pretty sure that's confirmed now.
because like right now it's getting all fucked up.
Yeah, and like I really like that.
Yeah, she's gonna be in the TARDIS. She's gonna be the new TARDIS.
Mhm.
It's gonna be like the Millennium Falcon and
I just don't. I don't want.
Solo.
Oh, hang on. That's why they go to Ancient Gallifrey. By the way, they go to Ancient Gallifrey to find something to fix the TARDIS. Um. Yeah.
See, I like the extra doors. That feels weird in TARDIS-y. The
Yeah.
leaking black goo is still nothing to me.
Yeah.
Great. What does this mean?
Crystals were ugly to
What's the
begin
goo
with.
to me?
Yeah.
My favorite thing is that when they first filmed it, they hadn't color checked. They had to color correct all the crystals the entire first season.
Wait, really?
Yeah, apparently they hadn't done a camera test, and they turned up the wrong color on film.
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Oh my.
yeah. And you compare that to like in Russell's era, it was like, okay, so making Tennant's suit jacket out of pants, so it's thinner and more crumply, and his long jacket out of a fucking I've forgotten what it is, out of a couch. It's like, okay, you
Yeah.
clearly think about how it moves and looks and sits.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just that. I mean, citation needed, but I'm pretty sure when I first heard that it was from a confirmed thing.
I believe
But
you. Like that's just
yeah,
crazy enough to be true.
it's such a shit design. There's no space, and somehow it's all open on the outside.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's impossible to film in there because like
Yeah,
everything is sort of cocooning around the central console. That it's like, how do you?
it's crowded.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
the
And
color's still ugly as
like,
fuck too.
yep, and they never film in there. It's probably she's got a mobile phone and using laptops being in the TARDIS.
Hmm.
Blows my mind still. Um, I don't know. It's just not a good design.
Yeah.
There's so many things they could do to make it like because if you think about all of Mar, you can picture obviously the first one because it was, I mean, the first of the reboot era because it was for
Yeah.
like a couple of doctors. It's quite nice.
Yeah. There's
Smith
the
had two,
coral. Yeah, he had the bright orange one and
with the
the
steampunk and the sad boy one.
yeah, and the sad boy one is obviously the better one.
I prefer the steampunky to be honest.
Really?
Because it feels warmer, yeah. Because I thought his Sad Boy one just because I know Capaldi started off with the same one, and then it got like the books and the other layer. I like
Yeah.
Capaldi's
Oh
one,
yeah.
but
Okay. Yeah.
for
I think that I'm imprinting Capaldi's one because I'm like, it's the same set basically, just dressed
yeah,
differently. I like
yeah,
Capaldi's TARDIS is actually my favorite.
it's a nice one. I
Yes,
really
very
like
very
the books.
atmospheric.
Yeah,
It looks lived
it's
in.
yes. Like on this current one, I also have no sense of the geometry of the room.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I can
like
picture the middle bit, but I don't know what's around it, what's where.
yeah. I look in the doorway and I go like, okay, if I look left, am I gonna see studio lights or am I gonna see uh
Yeah.
I don't know, a clothes rack?
That exactly like if like I do quite like the first one, partly nostalgia, but also like it looked beat up, and there was like padding on some of the railing and the shitty chair, and it had that kind of real like
Yeah, like
gross feel, but
I
it
can
felt
get
like a
behind that.
space.
I'm not a big fan of it, possibly because like I just think it looks ugly. But like
Yeah, it's fair.
that's a very subjective thing. That
Yeah,
like
but I agree,
it
but I guess
still
that's part.
works exactly as you need it to.
Yeah, you can tell they're trying to go for that organic thing again this time, but just not as
Hmm.
good. Um, but yeah, the geometry made sense, and I agree with Capality that both of those ones felt the most like actual spaces you could be in. Like, are there any chairs on the current one? If they are, I don't know where they are.
There's steps that they sit on when they have like
Where do they
character scenes.
lead?
I don't know. Like, here's the thing.
They
Like,
just loiter.
with Capaldi starters, like I could tell you, like there's the steps that go downwards, and
Yep.
they've said several times that it leads to like the bathroom. Uh, there's like a liquor cabinet down there, and if you go up,
Yeah.
obviously you're up in like the balcony, the gallery, with the books and stuff. I like
Yeah.
it's it's very small things, but it feels very like, ah, yes, I can map this out well enough.
Yeah, and it does a good job of implying there's extra space because of the stairs down. I think that
Yes.
is something that they were missing in Russell's era, is you didn't really have the impression of you could walk further in and find yourself in different areas. It was kind of
Yeah.
like what you see is most of it. And then imply there was more, but you wouldn't visually see that.
Yeah, the best you see is like they had a clothes room in like Tennant's first episode.
Did they? I can't.
Yeah, it's at the end when he's like going through picking out his wardrobe.
Oh, yeah. I too completely forgotten that. I still can't really
Yeah,
picture
I'm
it.
pretty sure
I
we
know it
only
was
see it the
there.
one time.
I think my favorite thing of the actual internals of the TARDIS would be from the Doctor's wife, which was a lot of fan service,
Yes,
but
I was.
it's them being fucking stuck in it.
Yeah,
I like that more than Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, which just feels like let's just
I.
whack some things here.
That's the thing. Journey to Center of the TARDIS was like the first actual episode that I watched in full. Because like
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't that big into Doctor Who growing up. It wasn't until like we were getting close to like the 50th I was like, oh, I'll check this out.
Yeah.
So I saw Journey and I was like, oh, that's cool. I like the idea of like this big ship, and we see all these rooms. So I was really disappointed to learn that like usually we don't see any rooms.
Yeah. That one also just depresses me, not in the fun way, with the brothers who are telling the younger
Oh yeah,
brother
that was
that he's
fucking
a robot. Yeah, and then they wipe it, so he actually doesn't find out. They say something a little bit nice at the end, but they don't actually deal with that.
yeah, that's fucked.
I was like, that is like my worst nightmare, being dehumanized by the people you love and trust. The
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
Anyway. Um I don't know. I don't know. What are you doing for Jodie's specials? You're still in charge, by the way.
Right. I still
Getting
haven't even ended this season.
Yeah, I assume you're just gonna yeah, how are you gonna end it? Blow everything up? Make
Um,
her regenerate into Crystal Boy?
that's the thing.
Say he's the master?
I still
He's
think
basically the
okay,
master.
my ending is definitely going to be, instead of space and time being restored, we just learn that everything has been rearranged, and I think at a future point we're going to be meeting like, I don't want to use a celestial because like I'm currently in my Marvel brain thanks to Spider-Man, but like
Okay.
we're going to introduce like characters that are a higher power than like the Time Lords, and their thing is going to be across these specials like, oh, time and space is a bit weird, nothing's where it's meant to be,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they would fix it or they would try to bring balance to these new places. I guess I would want to
Yeah.
establish like the time and space is completely fucked. Everything is not in its right place. And then there are these celestials who are going to become the guardians of these different sectors.
Okay.
Um,
I was gonna say it already is robbing from Marvel if you look at the teleporting around the room and they try and shoot them. That felt
uh,
so Loki finale.
yeah.
I don't know. Okay though. Alright, so that's how you end it. So then what do you do in her specials? Do you establish those Celestials or like
Yeah.
in during that arc?
I think... Oh, hang on. How many specials is she even getting?
I
Uh,
don't know. I'm gonna say 4.
okay, so I
Because if
have...
it's any more, it's just another mini season, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've got 4 specials to work with. The first
Because
one...
she.
Oh,
Mm?
hang on. Here's the question.
Would
Um,
she be on the run from them? That's what I would like to do, I think, is have her on the run from these things, and that's why she's doctoring about still.
um, I guess I've actually got to decide: who are the companions that are going to survive this season? And also, I need to go check on my washing machine. It's making an angry beeping sound, so I'll be back in just a second.
All right.
And while I do that, my answer.
Do you bring Rassilon back
No.
as the only remaining Time Lord?
Um. Ooh, actually, there's a really good question. Who actually is still in this universe?
Yes, answer for his crimes of brainwashing the Doctor. And he'll be like, "You already hate me. What more do you want me to do?"
Oh, you think I'm the villain just because I'm the evil Time Lord? I wasn't responsible for this one. Um, I was sort of thinking it over, and I think I want to retire all the companions for these specials. So we're going to be
Okay.
introducing new characters each time, just to get a feel of like what the world is like, I
So
guess.
do a tenant
Do a
with these
tenant.
last
Do a
specials,
tenant,
yeah.
yeah. And kind of like a tenant, I assume I'd be bringing back everyone in like a cameo way in the finale, just to be like, oh, we're wrapping up the era. We're gonna check in on who's still alive.
Yeah.
We won't be doing like a
Okay.
Rose Tyler one though, of like, and then he goes back to before he met them and says, you're gonna have fun. Good luck being
He
in
couldn't really
Doctor
go
Who.
back to after he had met her, could he? Because she
No,
was going to
yeah, no, of course.
related.
But even then, like, I'm not sure I really appreciate that, just in general.
No, it was a bit weird.
Yeah,
He really dragged it out. As much as I loved him, it was a
yeah.
lot. Like, please
Um,
stop.
let's see. So all the companions are either gone or killed off. I don't really care how.
Feel
Because
like you
it's
bring back people who are in charge of time, you're just doing Time Lords again, which is what I feel like they're going to do. Be like, there are no the Time Lords are all dead. Have this other race of time beings. Oh,
um
you know what I mean?
sure. Another thing I was just sort of thinking about just then, while you were complaining about like the time beings, was just like, okay, maybe instead of like celestial godlike beings, it could just be like
Dogs.
people that the Doctor like meets who take on greater responsibility in these
Yeah.
new, I guess, sort of like interplanetary councils.
Yeah.
And they could be like we'll call them the peacekeepers, I guess, rather than celestials, just so there's like a completely new term in the Doctor Who
Yeah.
canon. Peacekeepers, that
What
hasn't existed
about
before.
what about time peacekeepers? What about peace lords? No, I think that's you're going
The
with some of the better
space
options.
lords.
Yes, the space lords. I still don't get the reference to time being evil
Yeah, are they
and weird
referring to the
escapes. It has to be
concept? Are they
controlled.
referring to the planet? Is there a
I think
time?
the concept because they tried to control time with space and people, which just it sounds like it's trying to do big idea, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. if it's a solid idea.
Yeah, I'm sure that like, oh no, I can't even commit to this statement, but like, I reckon I wouldn't put it past Chibnall to reveal that Time actually is just a character.
Yeah. Well, we had hang on. The frog, weren't they all like aspects of the universe or something? What was the frog
Um,
meant to be?
it was called the Solitrack, and it is
Yeah.
the embodiment of a universe.
Yeah, I thought it was a thing that wasn't allowed in our universe.
Well, it's not allowed in our universe because it belongs to a different one. But
Yeah.
it's a universe looking for companionship. And
Oh, okay. I thought it was
um,
like a universal force. I was going, there is backing for the idea of time being an actual fucking
yeah, well, that's the
thing.
thing. I'm pretty sure, like, if you were to actually look at, like, the past seasons of Chibnall's run, there is, like, set up in the loosest terms possible for, like, some of these ideas.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want, oh, you could bring back, the Ooks from the finale of season 11.
Oh, that was their name.
Yeah, the Ooks.
I was
Why do
chatting about them
I
earlier.
I know too much about this thing that I don't even like.
Welcome to Doctor Who. Yeah, I was
Uh
saying to Brendan, like they've already got like ancient godlike species that they've been, Chibi
yeah.
keeps bringing into it.
Yeah, and like they could do something with those people or um yeah, the Solitrack plot of I just drowned in a river shit. I'm really good at Breath of the Wild. Um what is it? The nope, I've lost it. But basically, like, early Chibnall stuff could have been really good setup for late Chibnall stuff. Um, just with some like rejigging.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Though I'm not sure I'm gonna like how this resolves.
I know
Pretty
I'm
sure I'm
not.
anyway. Yeah. The first episode, I mean, even if it isn't great, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of ideas, but I just don't trust them to do it because they never think more than once. Like, again,
Yeah.
if you suffocate Sontarans, going into space won't help them.
Yeah, and even then, like it's like the spiders episode of like,
Yeah.
it's kind to starve them gradually, then
Yeah.
just killing them outright. When like they're a
Yeah.
clothed species, and like I don't even like the general guy in the episode, because he's one note and he's portrayed as
Yeah.
like arrogant,
He's
um,
there to be what he
antagonistic.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I still think he has a point in that like, oh, these Sontarans, they killed humans. Maybe don't let them go, Doctor. Um, Doctor, why are you doing
Because
that?
even they didn't even actually surrender. Unlike the ones in Tenants First,
Yeah.
which was clearly referencing, they actively surrendered.
Yeah.
And also, he did kill their leader. Whereas in
Uh
this one,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just a bit weird. It's like I have the same issue. In Jodie's first episode, there's the Tooth Fairy who's hunting after this one guy. And what she says after he pushes the Tooth Fairy off of the crane is like, you had no right to do that, despite the fact that the Tooth Fairy guy was hunting after this guy. As like, oh,
Also,
if anyone has that right, I'm pretty sure it's him.
also, she had at that point tricked him into melting his own DNA. Like
Yeah, he's
active
implanted the
agony.
bombs, yeah.
Yeah, like she did that, and it's like, oh, but
Random
you
person who
kicked
had
him.
no concept of the gravity of the situation.
And like you can't be a companion because like why was it not Ryan being chased and then she has to teach him some shit? Why was it
Yeah.
not it's just such inefficient storytelling.
Oh, exactly.
Every episode adds a million characters. Also, I think in other eras they've used historical figures better because they've kind of still done their normal shtick.
Yeah.
Like they didn't like Shakespeare, even though that episode obviously didn't age
I'm pretty sure
necessarily
the
great.
way we were discussing it the other day was like they were still telling like their own story and integrating this historical person into the conflict. It wasn't
Yeah,
here's historical character and here's like a PowerPoint of their life.
yeah, but also like Mary C. Cole counting the Sontaran things. Like,
It was like, oh
okay,
yeah, good use of this historical figure. We'll just have her off screen doing all of these uh,
yeah,
interesting things.
and same with Spyfall. Like, at least in
Wait, who
you
the
know,
fuck was in
the big,
Spyfall? Oh,
they
Ada
had a load of
Lovelace.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, the computer lady. They had someone else. She was like collecting people from the past to do stuff off camera.
she was making the
Um,
A Force.
yeah. Um, I would say, whereas like in the one with the big bees and Donna, like
Yeah,
Agatha
uh,
Christie
Unicorn and the Wasp.
never went. That's it. Never went. Oh, I'm also great at killing wasps or anything. She was like, I'm a writer, and we know the
Yeah,
mystery thing happened, so let's
yeah, and
play with that.
yeah, the sort of fun was that an Agatha Christie plot was happening around her.
Yeah. You know what would be fun if the family came back because the
Hmm.
doctor froze and they couldn't die, and what if that is Crystal Face is the wanky kid from the family?
When you said the family, I thought you meant the fam, as in like bring back Graham and
No,
Ryan.
no, 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 no. The family of blood
Yeah,
that
no, no,
Ted was so fucking mean to. Like, they're evil, and then he's like, you'll be a scarecrow suffering for
mm,
eternity. You're stuck at the edge of a black hole. Fuck you. You're,
yeah, you're trapped in a mirror. I
again,
I
it had
like
the fun thing of, like, he wasn't running to save himself, he was running to save us. It was a fun
yeah,
little, but,
twist. Yeah. I like that as the start of the Time Lord Victorious sort of
yeah.
shtick of like, oh, you're exerting your power, Doctor. Why are you doing this? You okay?
And that's why I like him whinging at the end, because it's in character for this person who
Absolutely.
wants so much. But then does do the right thing in the end, but he's like, oh, I was just getting there. But yeah, his Tom
Yeah.
Victorious was really powerful looking back. It's like I wanted Luke to, that's what I wanted from Luke Skywalker in the new Star Wars, if he'd been twisted, not to the dark side, but just by his own beliefs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow, Time Lord Victorious was so good. They made a whole multimedia project about it. I'm sure
Yeah.
every piece in that story holds up.
I'm
I
sure
have
most
no
of it
idea.
does more than this thing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
At
But
least it's a
like that's
good
a
title too.
yeah, but that's a very low bar to
Flux.
clear.
Flux. It's just a generic. It's like I said, Doctor Who, Quantum.
That's the
Okay.
interesting thing. I think we're getting into the point of Doctor Who where titling something like season 13 or season 14 is just going to be daunting for new viewers. That like
Yeah.
I quite like the idea of we just have like season titles rather than numbers, but like they would still be I guess numbered in a catalog sense.
Yeah.
So it's literally just for that reason. I'm kind of okay with calling it Flux now.
But no, I'm okay with giving it a name, but not a shit name.
Oh yeah, no, but absolutely. That's something I was really interested to do with Brenton one day is just like go through all the seasons and be like, what would we name this if we were given like a 1 or 2 word title that relates to like the
Bad
main
Wolf.
theme? Yeah, it's like you could go for the mystery box element.
But
So
like that feels like the theme of it very much because it's the
yeah.
word keeps being repeated. Season 2, and it ends in the Battle of Canary Wharf.
But Torchwood is
But
the major player
that's
thing.
true. All right. Season 2, Torchwood.
That's the
Season
thing. Like,
3.
I feel like I'd either want to call it Torchwood or Doomsday.
Ooh. I'm gonna save Doomsday. I think season 2 might be too early to call something Doomsday, but I
Oh,
don't
fair
know.
enough. But like
Um,
something around that sort of theme of loss for the Doctor
yeah.
and I was about to call her Billy Rose.
Is there a theme for season 3 at all, other
Utopia.
than missing Rose? Oh, is that one? Yes. Okay, Doctor Who Utopia could be. I mean, we're just kind of looking at the ending episodes for a lot of
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, but like that's
What were
usually
they? What were the humans called? It could be called
the
Paradox too.
Toclophane.
Toglophane, the Toglophane Paradox, or
Um,
Doctor Who vote Saxon.
um, I
I don't know.
you could do Doctor Who. You Are Not Alone. No, that's cringe.
Yeah, no, I don't know. A lot of these are going to be a bit cringe, but
What if instead of like a one-word title, like we could call it Last of the Time Lords?
Drew, or because the baddie has one and he has one. What's the watch called that they put their personality in
Uh,
to
the
wipe their
f-
memory?
the Chameleon Arch.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Not a
was about to
great
call it the
name.
Fob Watch.
Yeah.
I was like, you do not want to
Um,
call your series the Fob Watch.
I kind of want to call season 4 just Noble. Be
Uh,
like, ooh, because it's her
I like
surname and
that.
there's a lot of them. Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think of
It's
like
subtle.
what other ones could there be with season
Will
4?
Wolf forever.
Yeah, Wilf.
100 years of Wolf.
I would love Wilf to be like
Um,
a full-time companion for Tennant.
oh, it would have been great.
And then you'd
I'm
have
so glad that it
ooh,
was.
I would
Mhm.
want Wilf and Tennant, but like everyone's confusing Wilf as the Doctor.
That would be pretty fun. That'd be great. Oh, I want that now.
We're never gonna get it.
No, for sure. Never, 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 never. Um, he was such a treasure. Every old man just
Absolutely.
been trying to be him since then,
Yeah.
which is sad.
It'd be really funny if Ryan was trying to be him as well. Ryan just
Yeah.
handing the Doctor a gun is like, you take this gun and you save your life, Doctor. Ryan, where did you get this?
Did you like them spelling out what would the doctor do? Like, we'll have
No.
someone explain.
Here's the thing.
Disgusting.
I didn't quite click when I first saw the pen, uh, what that meant. So I'm glad that Swarm explained it, but I'm still mad that we saw the pen to begin with, rather than Yaz, being competent
Yeah.
on her own.
What's he a swarm of? Plot holes, but I mean, other than that,
That's the thing. Like he says in the second episode that like Swarm is just a translation, but it'll do. So it's not even his name.
yeah, but like the writers chose swarm for a reason. Like clearly,
Um,
as you is like it's a cool crystal color. It's a pretty name, but
well,
like,
she also says that I am death.
yeah, but like at least in baddie death makes sense. But swarm has such unless it's going, it's just a cool baddie sounding name. It just winds me up. All right, so
Um,
then I assume Tenant specials with the end would probably be called like Victorious or something. I don't know, because you wouldn't
um,
want to call it Time Lord for the event, but like, what would you call those specials? Or just knock, 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 knock.
I was literally about to say, just call it Doctor Who knocking.
Mm.
Doctor Who's knocking.
Doctor Who's there.
Yeah.
What?
I don't actually know if I would make the special separate to season 4, because in my mind it's just like extra season 4. It's like season 4
Yeah,
2.
which feels really weird on a rewatch because you kind of have they have everyone back together and it's really cool. They'll find the TARDIS. Like, oh,
Yep.
that's why it has 6 sides. That's great. And then he says goodbye to everyone. And then you have 4 episodes and he says goodbye to them all again.
Yeah.
Like at the time it made sense. When a rewatch, it's like,
Yeah, that
okay.
it's the interesting thing of like we watch that and we're like, oh, these events are too compressed. We watch Moffat back and it's like, oh, there's actually heart here. It's just really interesting, all those things that we get on the rewatch. That
I mean,
like
Moffat works so much better on a binge.
absolutely,
You're like, oh, it all makes sense now.
it makes more sense than
Um,
before.
yeah, because you didn't have a year to be like, what do they fucking say about whatever?
Yeah,
Okay, so what are you calling Smith's first season?
crack.
The
Um,
Doctor's crack.
um,
Mm.
I don't know. What's the major theme? Uh,
is she running from the wedding at that point? Oh, so we just call it the girl who waited, wouldn't you? Because her whole thing's like, when I was a little girl, I
Yeah.
hadn't imagined.
Oh man,
I feel like that's kind of the trend.
see that's the thing that doesn't age well on a rewatch. Just the whole before episode, Amy
Blurb.
recounting everything. Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
remember the word for it.
disgusting. And I was a little girl, I had an imaginary friend. When I grew
Only
up,
he
he
wasn't
came back,
imaginary.
and we ran away together. Well, I think he
Uh,
became an imaginary friend because she only saw him once.
yeah. If we don't call it, no, I really like The Girl Who Waited. You know what? Fuck it. Let's not do one-word titles because it's just impossible.
Yeah, I think it's one phrase. We don't want to have an essay,
Yeah.
but
I was like, and then the doctor decides whether or not he'll become a good man after several encounters with various creatures across the galaxy, and then he encounters the Master who really tests if he's a good man, because he's a woman now.
oh no.
See,
I was
season
gonna
8 was a
say
long one.
season 6, and this is tough. That's the one where the Doctor dies, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually, and I'd hate to call it Doctor Who. The Doctor dies or whatever.
I would
Or
want to call it, I would call it The Impossible Astronaut, which is borrowing from the first
ooh,
episode, but it's like, they really knocked it out of the park with that one.
yeah.
Um,
Because I guess that is also all really built to that river, isn't it? That's the river season.
yeah.
And then what? Season 8.
Oh, season 7. Oh, season
Oh yeah,
7
what's
split
the?
into 2.
Yeah.
I
So
would
you'd have to do one for each of them.
Yeah, I'd want to call the first one Pond Life, but only because of like the Pond Life omnibus on YouTube.
Yeah. See, I don't know, because I didn't like their half of that season. I
Yeah,
didn't like it from Let's Kill Hitler to when they leave. That all felt like
I like the God
most
Complex
of
a
that.
lot.
See, I thought that was alright. I did like certain moments about him having to disenchant Amy of her
Yeah,
love and trust in him.
that
It
was
was
a
like, I
really
took you
good
for
point
me.
for the characters to leave.
Yeah. So that's hard one to do. Maybe we'd tack on their half of the season. Could we split season 7 into like the end of the
Absolutely.
Amy and Rory arc at season 6 and then start at season 8 with... Well, because Clara has to have time with him. We do a little Clara event, which we'd call like... What's it? Trenzalore or whatever?
Um, that's the thing. The thing is, like, she's the impossible girl, who spawns because the Doctor goes to his grave on Trenzalore. Um, what if we call it like the one who broke the promise? Because like in my mind, season 7B is trying to build up to the Day of the Doctor. So you get like clues of like,
Yeah.
oh, the Doctor's name is written in a book about the Time War. And Clara read that book, and it's like, oh no, she can't know that. The Doctor is negotiating information with the Cyberman in Nightmare in Silver, and he's hiding information. And the name of the Doctor twist, when he enters his time stream, I think is a very pivotal thing. But ultimately, you'd have to call
Yeah.
it something to do with the Impossible Girl, because like the plot really hinges on like trying to figure out who Clara is.
Yeah, but it
It's really
it softly
lazy.
does that and sometimes doesn't. That's why I was like, Trenzalore seems like the big set piece. But you're right. I think yours probably work better. It just
I'm not so sure.
if they had a season called Doctor Who Impossible Girl, I know I would be like frustrated by just the title. I'd be like, what are you doing? But okay, and then with Capaldi, what would you call his first season? Good stories, shit
The Good
acting.
Man.
Sorry, shit characters. I love the stories in that season. I just
I
hate
like a
both
lot
of
of the
them.
stories, like Mummy on the Orient Express, fucking banger. Flatline, awesome. Kill the
Right,
Moon,
except they're just so mean
no.
to each other. They're just
In
so
which
mean to
one?
each other. In his first season. In his second
Oh
season,
yeah.
I feel like when his hair grows out, he becomes a way better doctor. His
Yeah,
first season is like,
his empathy
I might
comes
need
with his hair
this.
growth.
Yeah, not even his empathy though, but just like the characterization feels better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even Clara feels better when she's not with Danny Pink. Oh, would you? His first season is the mystery of that not Missy, or is that his second season that's missing?
It's the first season. Because, like, at the end of most episodes, you get the clip of, like, her in the Death Sphere.
Oh, true. Would you
And
call
it's
it
like,
Death Sphere then?
no, I'd call it the good man.
Okay. Yeah.
Just fucking simple.
Yep. All right, and then his second season. What was the second
It was
season?
the hybrid. Everything was like a two-parter.
Oh yeah. I just wish they cut out the second part of Me's story.
Yeah,
Shield's
no,
story.
it's that and the Sleep No More things are
Oh
like,
yeah, oh no, I skipped that on rewatch. I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch a thing that's like, we cast our first trans person. Look, they're a meat robot. Look how unhuman this trans person is, which most
yeah,
people already dehumanize. So I
yeah,
was like,
that's
no,
quite gross.
I'm not watching that. Sorry. That one I couldn't bring myself to.
Yeah,
But
fair
yeah.
enough.
But yeah, with Shielder, it's like, okay, how much more powerful would it have been if we see her? He goes, I don't know what'll happen, and then we get her in the modern era, being like, you forgot about me, and here I am.
Yeah,
Way
when she's
better
running
than
that Diagon Alley town.
yeah.
Gonna
Like,
be
look
honest,
where
I
people
quite like
go.
Face the Raven.
Yeah, had some cool moments. I do like the Clara thing. I mean, he returns to Gallifrey. Return to
The long
Gallifrey
way
would be great.
round.
Yes, I like that because of the being the punchy in the
Yeah,
rock.
Heaven Sent.
Yeah,
And like
wrong way around.
Heaven
I
Sent
like that.
works really well because season 9 really does try to make the relationship between Clara and the Doctor work.
Yeah,
That like her death works because she is getting more reckless across the season. To the point where like she becomes a Doctor Light
yeah.
character, and tries to like manipulate her opponents, and it
You
backfires.
kind of see what Donna could have ended up happening, which is
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know. I
like I
don't.
was remembering Donna's farewell where he goes, "She was the most important woman in the universe," and Amanda
And
goes, "She already is. She's my daughter." And he's like, "Maybe you should tell her sometime."
oh yeah, he's got
And
sass. I love
Wilf's
him.
like, "Burn, yo 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 yo! It's your boy Wilf coming here with a new TikTok."
Someone call an ambulance for my daughter. Is there a doctor in the house? Oh.
I'm not saying my daughter's a bitch. I'm just saying she's species bonded to a random human on a dog planet. Really hated this man. But okay, I like that though. Long way around, great. The next season, what do you call it?
I would call it.
There's Sidemen, there's Bill, there's
I would call it the pilot.
no.
No.
So I don't like that the pilot. They're like, it's not your friend. She's dead. In the end, it's like it's your friend. It's alright. You can go with her now.
Yep. It's like, what does everything in the universe want? Most things are hungry, but everything wants companion.
Yeah, maybe a friend always was the thing. I also don't get how powerful must those ships be, whatever it was that landed, that a little bit of oil leaking out is in itself a conscious time traveling anywhere in the universe instantaneous magic lady. They can also read your sexuality.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever thought about that. I've just been like, ah, cute puddle lady.
Maybe it just assumed people would be more trusting if it wasn't like a bloke being like, "Hey, come look at this puddle." Yeah, it's in the back lot.
What are what other things are in season 10 that really hammer at home?
Well, Nardal's
Ooh,
there the whole time. What's the ship
without
called?
witness, without reward.
Yes. Would you call part one without witness and part two without reward?
Um,
Probably not. But
I would want to call the first part like the pilot up until like the Monk trilogy starts. Because that's when it really goes full ham of like, yeah, you need to be paying attention and concentrating and have at least some iota of what's going on.
yeah, that's fair. I still hate so much that he tricks Bill into into shooting him.
Yeah, it's a great
And
scene up until his reaction afterwards.
and his fake regeneration too. Like she doesn't know that's a thing you can do. That means nothing to
Yeah.
her. You're just wasting regeneration energy. I like to think retroactively, I guess, that he always intended to not regenerate again, and that's why he's like, I don't fucking care. Look, I can do tricks with it.
I'm gonna be very flippant about it, but I'm not gonna use it to heal my
Yeah.
sight.
No. He had to borrow. And what did he borrow from a future generation?
The way he explained it was, I've just, he might be very short in a future generation.
He said borrow saying, I like to think that he stole his personality. And that's why Jodie's the way she is.
That's generous.
Yeah. I like to think
Um,
though, he must have known he was going to regenerate. It was borrowing from future regenerations.
well, I don't think he made the decision to not regenerate until, like, the Dr. Falls episode, when, like, everyone's betrayed him, and he's trying his
Yeah.
best, and his friend was killed.
What was that? What was that spaceship called?
I don't
Got a
remember.
name?
I just know that it was from Mondas.
Yeah.
But yeah, without witness, without reward.
That's great. That's great. Then we have Twice Upon a Time or whatever, yada yada yada. And then what do you call Jodie's first season?
The pilot.
Fam.
The pilot.
The fam. Who's the pilot in her first season?
Oh, no.
Or would you?
It would be the pilot because,
Is it a reboot?
yeah, basically.
I don't know, because what's the central this Toothface guy whose name's like, oh, it's Tim, isn't it? It's Tim Shaw.
Yeah. That's the thing, I'd want to give it a title like, The Most Dangerous Game. Based on the book, or at least I think it was the book, where, like, Hunter starts hunting humans, because they're described as, like, the most dangerous, thing you could hunt.
That's like only the first episode.
Well, it's
What's
the first...
she doing that whole season?
Yeah,
Just
she's
fucking
doing
about?
fuck all, yeah. Because, like, there's the episode where she simps for Amazon. There's the episode where she hunts some witches or some shit. There's the,
Yeah.
Demons of the Punjab.
Would you call it Doctor Who Be Kind and just live in the
Nah.
shadow of Capaldi's ending? Because she's pretending that's what she wants to be. What about would you name it after Grace? And then when she dies in the first episode, everyone's like, oh shit. You know? I don't know.
What about The Universe Through New Eyes?
But they regenerate all the time.
Yeah, no.
It
That's
says
the issue.
something for this.
There's a very little substance that, like, I've got to go for something
Fuck.
super generic.
That says something, doesn't it? That we can't think of anything really. This
Yeah.
season. Oh. That's Yeah, that's rough. Season 2 is the Timeless Child, obviously. I guess. Like her second season. It's gotta be. I'm not gonna call it the Lone Cyberman.
Yeah, because the Lone Cyberman takes, like, a serious backseat in the end.
Yeah, but as long as she didn't give him what he wanted, right? She
Yeah,
wouldn't do
which...
that.
Well, the thing is, it was good old Johnny Barrowman who told her not to give it what it wanted.
Ah. And she went, you show your dick to people, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah. For once, I agree with Jodie.
Wait a minute, aren't you a predator? What?
See, I don't know if I'd want to call it the Timeless Child. Because I feel like I'd want to call Flux the Timeless Child, because then at least it might seem like the Timeless Child stuff is going somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like though it's the big refrain of that season.
What if I
don't
call
know.
it
Again, I haven't really seen it.
the Long Division?
Or wouldn't you call Flux Division?
I would...
Because there's the division between the characters and they're going about the division and
Yeah,
that history.
not gonna lie, it's fucking weird, hearing Jodie snapping at Yaz when Yaz hasn't actually done anything wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
Yaz hasn't done anything, but like she's not done anything like to deserve being told like, does everything have to be a conversation with you? Get in the TARDIS, do as I
Yeah.
say.
She's
After
clearly just lashing
she
out.
she she
But
misses Graham and Ryan so much that she's like, after they left, did I not take you to amazing places?
she misses her yes men.
Exactly.
Um,
She's actually got to put effort into this relationship now.
fuck. I think if we can figure out season Jodie's first one, then we're basically golden.
Hmm. The I think this is why we need Brenton. Unfortunately, can't be here because like
Yeah.
he'd probably be able to
The
think of something.
Ghost Monument. There's names of episodes. For
Ro-
Ting.
we'll call it Rosa.
Yes. We'll call it Woke to Who, and then pretend we're angry about that. Because, Doctor Who's never been left leaning.
Hmm.
There was Star Trek fans like that too. They're like, since when is it being lefty? They had the first interracial kiss on TV. They
Yeah.
forced that to happen. They from the fucking beginning. They wanted a lady like first officer, but the fucking people said no. Like the TV
The other
company. Like it's
network.
always been woke. Just because you're okay with a level of progression doesn't mean it stops. Like they were still
Yeah.
trying to do more stuff.
The funniest tweet I saw very recently was like, I'm not happy about the X-Men cartoon reboot thing that's going on, or the continuation.
Hmm.
But like, it's not because it's gonna be written by woke writers. But like, there was a tweet going like, "Oh, Disney's going to ruin the X-Men cartoon by handing it to woke writers, ignoring the fact that like the X-Men are allegory for like queer people."
Yeah, so much.
Yeah,
It's so like they in Discovery season 2 they have a trans dude and a non-binary dude. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Um and then people like, oh, they never did this before. Meanwhile, like in Next Generation in the 80s had an episode about a culture that's forced to be gender neutral. Like they don't have any concept of
right.
gender. And then people like self-identify and are keeping that underground. I mean, they had the female-looking person, so relate to being a girl, which helped. Even though
Yeah,
the lead actor was like, "No, can we get a dude for this to be way more interesting?" Anyway, like it's constantly been doing queer shit. I know, but what do we call her first season?
um,
Doctor Who. I got these glasses from somebody else somehow.
um,
Doctor Who. I
it's
love a
it's
conspiracy.
it's about time.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing, I quite like that phrase about a show about time. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's got the underlying message. No, I can't even
yeah.
say unfortunately. It's just like it's got the underlying message of like we should have had a female doctor by now. Um
Yeah.
it's an interesting one.
I mean, they're
It
flipping a
sounds
coin.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like. I consider, even though they're not really, particularly Tom Baker and Matt Smith are both really at least asexual and probably like those
Yeah,
vibes
they've got that energy.
and pretty genderqueer as well. Like even when they're talking, the War Doctor's talking to 11, and because this happened a lot, and he looks kind of disgusting. He says it does start to happen. Like
Yeah.
other than Tennant, most of them are pretty like, whatevs. Like they can be romantic, but they're not like boning.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. I quite like that representation in Who.
Yeah, no, me too. If if Tim Shaw had had a better name, he could have been the story,
He
the
was
name
the
of the season.
he was the Tooth Fairy.
What are the Doctor Who teeth? What are the gods called again? We name
Zelen.
it after them. I mean, for their species.
Oh, the Ooks.
Oh yeah, no. Oh,
Um,
the oops.
I'm just trying to think what else happened. We got Lee Mack for an episode and killed him, and he wasn't
Yeah, I
funny.
was gonna say no. It was just like, anyway, I'm a shit husband. I'm gonna go die now.
I never could do anything right. The least I could do is die for you, Yaz.
Doctor Who, kaboom.
Um,
No, because they didn't bring anything back, and none of the ideas had any staying power.
see, that's why I want to call it the pilot.
Yeah.
But it's like the pilot to go back and watch like the good seasons. Um,
What does she love? Sherry often just like, I love a conspiracy, but I hate it. Whatever. I don't know.
um,
Anything that any of the other characters say. Can we do it
you're
with the
doing
frog?
it,
Can we
mate.
do it? Can we name it after the frog?
Ryan Sinclair, don't you dare.
And, yes. Don't you dare could be the name of it.
We could give it a sort of like Harry Potter-esque title, like Doctor Who and the Dyspraxic One.
Oh, yeah. Doctor Who and the kind of cop, but not really.
I like that one more. um,
Doctor Who and why did you can't leave that here? Ryan, you can't just leave your giant space onion here. What are you doing?
yeah, I love Jay's video. Doctor Who,
Was
Doctor Who, and the 5-hour review that improved everything.
was was Tim Shaw inside the space onion? What was
He
inside
was.
it? Okay. Just so we understand.
That's the thing.
He
The
travels
space
in
onion. Yeah, it
onions.
was his magic spaceship.
But needed a random man to touch it in order to open it up.
Yep.
And you're like, oh yeah, the man who's touched who will activate it. Like it'll be the one who's hunted. No, 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 no. Anyone can touch it.
Yeah, but that's also the thing. It's like it's not just the one who touches it. It's the one who touches it and then touches the glowing thing.
Oh, it was so classic Chibnall underwriting and just putting, or I guess overwriting, but putting too much stuff in that just doesn't. If you're gonna have him touch a thing and someone gets hunted by a thing that comes from a thing, maybe make them linked. Why would just be
Yeah.
like, nah, it's just.
I still think, like, of all the issues in the first episode, the biggest problem for me was when the Tooth Fairy removes his mask. Because, like, all of the, I don't want to say the cool factor, but, like, all the intrigue, the dread of this killing machine just goes away because he's fucking covered in teeth.
He looks dumb, and that his name's Tim Shaw.
No, it's Simsha. It's
Is it
Simsha,
actually?
but her accent makes her go, well, you're Tim Shaw. Kind of like how
He's
Dan's accent makes him go, oh, these Sontarans, they're really into Japanese food. They're going on about tempura this, tempura that.
uh, I don't believe anyone. I mean, that's not true. They must. So I don't believe that
What you
anyone
got
doesn't know
that? It's
what
a wok.
temporal
A
as a
what?
word is. I did like the wok, just the dab be like, here, take this.
I like that, yeah.
That was pretty fun.
It's dangerous to go alone.
Just, but the Tim Shaw now that it's not his name reminds me of again in Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi being like, I'm changing
Sean.
my name to what? It's the same name. No.
Yeah. There's a thing that I really like though, of like, even though it's very similar, I like how in moments of crisis, Katie would scream out Sean rather than Shang, because that's who she's known all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just little
Yeah.
things like that, little, character.
Then you realize that as a kid, he let this random girl almost get beat up by some bullies just because he didn't want to reveal that he could fight.
Well, I think
Like,
that
he must be from some.
I get the feeling that has to do with like the trauma. So like I can accept it. It's fine.
That's true. That's fair. I really liked it. I do think that Dad would have been more sympathetic if he hadn't been an awful arsehole beforehand. As I said, I think to you before, it was kind of like, oh, he wanted to, take over the world. Then he didn't. and then he did again. But it's sympathetic this time.
Because
What
he
about
hears
last
his
time?
wife. It
Yeah.
doesn't see the evil onion alien gargoyle things coming out of the cave.
Yeah, no, I like to think, it's kind of brainwashed and
Yeah, yeah.
hypnotized by this,
Um,
like a siren,
I
not
quite
a alarm.
yeah, I like the idea that the rings, the more you use them, the more corrupted you get.
Ah, like the One Ring, kind of.
Sure.
But wait, so how come they put out a beacon when Shang first used them, but
Um,
not when his dad was using them all the time?
um, no idea. But
Like it's sent out. I guess the transference of power might be like, hey, just an update. Old evil guy's no longer the boss. There's a new guy.
maybe it comes down to like how you use them. Like Shang-Chi's using them to protect rather than conquer, so they're giving off like different vibes.
Yeah, I guess yeah. It could just be things have changed. Could be the beacon rather than
Yeah. And also like
I.
I think you said you thought they were sending like a beacon to the Eternals as like that's the next film to come up. But like it's more likely they're sending them to Fing Fang Foom, who in the comics had something
Yeah,
to do with like the
he's a
creation of the
dragon
rings.
who's
Yeah.
sometimes funny and sometimes not.
Yeah. And so like I really
Yeah,
hope if this film gets a sequel, they do like Shang-Chi and the Legend of Fing Fang Foom or whatever. I would just get like all the Shang-Chi films are like the Legend of
yeah. Would they rename Fing Fang Foom
probably.
to be less Fing Fangy?
I think they would, um, but I also think there would be references to the original name. Because like
Yeah,
you wanna modernize it, but you also wanna sort of in a weird way respect the thing that came before.
they
It's like
bring Ben Kingsley and he'd say, "What's that thing?" And then he'd say, "Fang
would it
Foom."
yeah, he'd be talking really I guess you'd try and ad lib something, be like, oh, what's this dragon going Fing Fang Foomin about? No, even that doesn't really work.
Nah, that's what they're doing. It's happening. We're doing it.
I'm a Marvel writer.
Mm-hmm. But no, you're right.
But I would like Shang-Chi to have this sort of like Indiana Jones kind of vibe going on of like every film's gonna have a new plot device and we're just gonna explore that thing and its story.
Yeah,
Even though
could be cool.
Legend of the Ten Rings, do we know much about the Ten Rings? Not really.
No.
But hey,
I guess they're talking about the legend. I don't know. I
well,
do. It was so
the
obvious. The
legend completely
sister, she
related
like
to
the
Wenwu.
dad.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I guess that's fair.
I do love the sisters. Like, hey, I know I had this big fighting empire. Don't worry though. I'll go demolish his crime empire. I know I was butthurt. He wouldn't let me into it, but trust me, I'm gonna take it down. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's gonna go deal with that. Whoa, 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 what? Also, it's made a big point, like in the village, everyone like is fighting and training together, and they make a big point of that. And
Yep.
we get to her utopia, and people are definitely segregated by sex. It's like, what happened
Yeah.
to your whole?
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, that was an odd one. Um, I quite like the sister character though.
Yeah, she's quite cool.
Yeah.
Ah well. I think I am actually excited. Although I think I am keen for Spider-Man. I think it'll be at least all right. You know.
Um,
Because for me, the second one didn't have fan service or a particularly great story. I know it's like, oh, but he was evil and his father issued betrayal, but it just became like this CGI is fake and this CGI is real, and it just made it all feel a lot faker
right.
to me. I don't
That's
know.
fair enough. Um, I definitely prefer Homecoming, but
Yeah, on a
in
rewatch, it really helped out.
yeah. Well, that's really it. It's like when I first saw Homecoming, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep. Um, but like it's definitely aging very well.
yeah, I really like what they do with. They keep finding ways to limit Spider-Man's ability, which I think is
Yes.
great. As well as they use him being a kid, so having the girlfriend's dad is such a teenage experience. To
Yeah.
play up that,
Yep.
brilliant,
Oh
brilliant.
fuck, the scene in the car where the lights change, like genius.
Oh, I was
More
saying that to
cinema.
I was saying that to Mum. I was like, okay, we're gonna watch this one. I know you think we should watch Guardians 2 first, but this has probably my favorite scene in the MCU. Because it's so good
Yeah.
when he figures it out, and when he opens the door and goes, "Hey, Peter," Mum was sitting going. I think she out loud said, "Oh shit." It was so good.
Yeah.
Did some, yeah, I don't know. I think
Oh,
I
you know
think
what?
it deserves to.
I think I said like, or was about
Also,
to
the end
say at
credits.
least like,
Mm.
that for me the difference between Homecoming and Far From Home is splitting hairs. Like, nah, just thinking of Homecoming, it's like, nah, it's leagues better. It's
Yeah,
leagues above.
this the way it handles the stuff is really fun. Also, the end credit sequence is probably one of my favorites. I
Oh,
think I really liked how they used Cap in that movie.
oh right, yeah, the patience one.
Yeah, because Mum was like, "Oh, when's it coming?" And I remembered just before it went on. I'm like, "Oh no!" So you waited all this time, but the little touches, which
Yeah, it
I think
feels
not every Marvel
integrated
movie
into a
does.
world.
Yeah, but also it's like people are paying so much attention, like in the Captain America video about exercise, and he gestures to his right and the guy's on the left. Like a lot of movies used to be like, and he gestures to the guy, and then yeah, we go through it, and like the joke is that he's there, but the joke being it's so routine and just teachers getting
Yeah.
things a little bit wrong.
I'm
Great,
pretty sure
so
this guy's a
good.
war criminal now, but we've got to show
Yeah,
these
yeah.
videos anyway.
And the student TV.
Yeah. Oh, I
Are
love
you taking
those.
someone to prom? No, I already have a date. So good.
Oh, sad face. Cringe.
Yeah.
I really want those to continue.
So
Like,
good.
I genuinely want to see what they do with the whole, and here's a newsflash, school. Our very own Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and they just do something with that.
Yeah. I mean, if they had those characters doing that shit in the animated show, I might even watch it because I don't need to watch another Spider-Man, I reckon.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the annoying thing with the animated show is just like, um, it's going to show the origin of Spider-Man. Okay, everyone knows that. The whole clever thing about the MCU was like, uh, we are oversaturated in media about like Spidey's origin. We don't need to know that. Um, as long as you like acknowledge the details in, subtle
yeah,
ways.
yeah,
And now that they're just showing, it just feels wrong. And also, like, who can Spidey face up against? Because, like, his first real test is Vulture.
yeah.
That,
Also,
like,
I do like that most of Spider-Man's um nemesis aren't just like other than like Venom aren't just like color swap Spider-Man. I get my
yeah.
boy Batman Spider-Man last pretty well because they have interesting villains
Yeah,
and
they've got,
things.
like, a very colorful rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Um,
Homecoming so good. I'm sorry they didn't kill off the Vulture because he's so good in that role.
yep.
And I'm sure there's a version where he accidentally killed himself and Spider-Man didn't save him. But
Mm,
even, oh fuck, Spider-Man just yelling, "Help! I need help!" And you see him as this little kid, just going,
yeah.
"I'm scared. Please, someone help me!" And I don't think I've seen anyone else, no other heroes in the MCU have done that, and it breaks your fucking heart.
Yeah. Can you believe there are
Good
people that don't
movie.
like this film and think he doesn't suffer?
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, the MJ being a twist was dumb.
Yeah, well, that's one thing in like a sea of like, please inject more of this into my veins.
Yeah. I mean, MJ was a bit edgy, but I did also like in detention. So, you're in timeout. Believe me. Oh no, maybe you were trying to be cool. Believe me, I know a thing or two about being cool.
Yeah. What are you even doing here?
Uh,
I just like seeing people in moments of crisis.
I mean, it was good to give MJ an actual personality, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. as overdone in the MCU as some others. And
Yeah.
it took their time getting them as a couple. To be
Um,
honest.
yeah, presumably. Oh, hmm. I was thinking about the animated thing again and just like, okay, so we're gonna have Tom in. Well, we might not even have Tom. They might hire some different voice actor.
Or
Who
use the one
knows?
from the What If, surely.
I hope not. Because, like, it's just going to feel more disconnected at that point. But, like, okay, so we're going to get him in his, not his homecoming suit, the homemade
The homemade
suit.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that going to translate well in the animated show? Are they really going to want to stick to it, I guess?
Yeah.
Um, it's like, how how are they going to stick to pre-Civil War Spider-Man without wanting to have all the iconic imagery in the show of
Well,
like he's making his own suit and it's going to look fucking amazing?
also, he wasn't friends with MJ yet.
No.
So it's just going to be him and Ned.
And Ned doesn't even know.
Yeah.
And
I don't
like,
know. I feel like at this point, honestly, even though they're saying they're more linked, I feel like the Netflix shows are more linked than the animated stuff,
oh yeah, absolutely.
especially now. Um, yeah. But, you know, Homecoming, actually a really good movie. Some really, really great scenes. Whereas I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has one good scene, and I can't think of a scene I really love in
Which is the really good Guardian
Spider-Man
scene?
2. Just basically after the funeral scene.
Ah,
That really gets to me. It's really pretty. I don't know. The
this is
rest
the
of the
thing.
film, I think, is kind of bland.
Right. I don't
I'm trying
know
to
if
think.
it's actually in the film or if it's like a deleted scene anymore. But like I've seen it so many freaking times, but like the scene where Drax is just sort of sitting down thinking about like his wife and daughter and Mantis is just like, what does that feel like? And she just puts her hands on him and she feels like a truck hit her. Like that is
Maybe I don't know.
I would describe that
I
as my
think it,
favorite scene. I think it's subtle enough because of Dave Bautista and his
yeah.
expression that
I think
like,
on a surface rewatch, I didn't particularly. I think I was too pissed off by the rest of it at that point to really get
oh,
into
fair
that
enough.
thing. But usually reset all the characters so they could be assholes again, or at least they reset Star Lord and Groot.
Yeah,
And I hate the trope of woman says she's not interested, but really she is. Just keep nagging her because it's just awful. It's
yeah.
just a really dumb trope. I was just gonna say for me, my two favorite MCU scenes are yeah, I think Spider-Man realizing Vulture's his girlfriend's dad, and then also the dad realizing his Spider-Man, and War Machine falling out of the sky in Civil War. The two
That
like,
is
oh, that's fucking real.
that's quite good. And also it's really interesting on Disney Plus. They now have a bunch of the MCU films in IMAX. And I was
Oh.
when I heard about that, I think I was in a call with Brenton. And I was just checking them out, and I watched the Civil War airport fight in IMAX because that was like the only IMAX bit of the film. And like we were
Hmm.
concerned that like because it's a higher aspect ratio, like you might see the ground before Rhodey hits it and it would lose the impact. But I was like, no,
Hmm.
it comes into frame just as it did in the regular version. So it's fine.
Fucking that because it's like, oh look, it's your toys bashing together, and then it gets
Yeah,
real. Fucking
consequences.
brilliant, brilliant. Ah, kind of made Civil War. I mean, Civil War worked because they had heart to it, I guess, like
Yeah,
character actually
and
conflicting,
conviction.
and it also ended with them still hating each other. It didn't pull a
Yep,
Martha.
yep. And
Not pointing any fingers.
yeah.
Do you agree? Speaking of like extra content, like side content, I honestly think Belle's story should have been a YouTube short, like to flush
Um,
out background stuff
that's the thing.
in BotW because
I hate saying it, but like I don't think I could say until I get more uh I guess integration of her into the main plot.
Like, what
because
did we got nothing from this plot that couldn't be explained away in a sentence. Like, I came
I
looking for you.
agree. I agree. Um, yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah. If not a YouTube
I'd say
video,
this
just
one.
truncate it down even further, because like we don't need have it be two sequences. They're not just
Yeah.
scenes, but like two sequences. One is uh she starts her journey, and I don't really want her seeing the Daleks. I think the Cyberman encounter
It's
prob
enough.
probably works better
Yeah.
as like scene one, I guess. Because it ends with the what is it, the love is an emotion, not a mission. Love is the only mission. And I think that
Well, that
dialogue.
went on too long.
I, oh yeah, no, but
Sorry.
like I'm
Yeah.
saying to truncate it even further than that. But like
Yeah.
I still think that that was a moment that really understood the Cybermen a little bit to me. Of like
Yeah.
these, they've got the emotional inhibitor. They're not going to understand emotions. That's illogical. And it's like, yeah, of
Yeah.
course it's illogical, but that's what separates humans from the Cybermen. That's great.
I just like that it has to argue with her. It just,
Yeah,
but yeah, I see. The thing is, I do like her, even though she's all tell don't show.
yeah,
I do actually like her. That's why I'm thinking, like, sort of like Night of the Doctor or whatever. Like, there's stuff that you can do with these that'd still be like a really cool extra content.
right.
I think in the episode it is when the episode's already so packed, it's like extra fluff that doesn't really go anywhere or mean anything
I
for that
think
episode's plot.
I think an issue with it is episode 5 is titled Survivors of the Flux. Um, and Bella's a survivor of the Flux. Oh my god,
Well,
she should be
that'd be
in
a good time
episode
to introduce her.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I assume she's going to end up on the Doctor's squad because Vinda isn't anymore, and you have
Yeah.
to kind of do a swap scene. Otherwise, it's like, as I said, just other shit happening.
You know, that's actually
It's like,
really
oh,
stupid. That they just sort of leave him on his planet where there's no one there. And
what's a Cyberman?
is there?
Well, isn't that where she? Oh, there's Daleks, if that's her planet too, presumably.
I
Like, I assume he's there for her. You
yes.
think he would have mentioned? Is this a time? Is this a time machine? Can travel in space as well? I got to get to my wife. Oh, my pregnant wife is out there somewhere, and the flux hit. I need to make sure she's okay. Can I send a transmission? You think he would say anything out of concern, but I
But
guess that would give away the twist.
yeah, but it kind of makes him seem like an unemotional prick.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I would like it as a YouTube accompaniment to the episode if they were to do more of them with other
Oh,
characters.
yeah.
But
Yeah, do one with dog hanging around as a dog. Do one where we
I
just get the full.
no, I
You
would
don't want
just do
that
it be
now.
like survivors of the flux.
Oh yeah. I think to be honest, they
Just
just seem
like
like
short
extra
stories of
content.
yeah. Um,
I would actually like Dan's just his museum tour. I think it'd be quite fun seeing the whole thing of that.
I would love to see them like they don't give him a script. He just has to ad lib everything.
Yeah, yeah, just a bit of fun. You know what? They could even say, "Oh, it's on, BBC iPlayer exclusive." So, you have to get that to watch it. It's in a way of, excusing it to the higher ups. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'll come as an exclusive on the Blu-ray.
As Brendan said, they keep adding more things
Yep.
and not answering anything. Like, Chibnall, sit with your characters you have, please.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Please.
that's something that I said during the last season, way before this one. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so Chibnall hasn't really defined his doctor, and he's already introducing another one with Grace.
You mean Ruth.
Oh, the same thing.
Oh, you racist. No,
Oh,
sorry.
oh no, oh no.
Um, anyway, Yeah, it's a weird choice. I mean, I really did want to watch last season, so I watched through all of Doctor Who. We skipped season 11 because we'd seen it recently. Like, all right, we'll start with season 12. This will be interesting. We're gonna try it. Could not get past Spyfall season 2,
Huh.
being like, huh, me and my friends did some shit off camera. We win. Just the worst.
Hmm.
Just so tedious for me. I don't know. I know that some people like Spyfall.
Doctor, why did you give up the master to the Nazis?
Oh. I talked to the mum, was like, like, no, well, otherwise, why would she mention it? So, oh, 'cause she knows the Nazis. Yeah, exactly. She's weaponizing his race against him. But there's
Yeah.
no, it's just fucked.
Morality is fucked in the Chibnall era.
Yeah. Just because he doesn't think, just have one more thought.
Yeah,
I
that
just feel
is...
like all his ideas, just think,
Yeah, literally. But
like,
just
that's good.
think,
Just a little bit more.
if he if
Just,
he
just,
if he put any more thought into it though, JXE wouldn't make a video.
it's true. Just one more pass, please. Please, Chiggy. Please, just go, hold on. How did the dog people get here?
By that point, he'd have to rewrite his whole script.
Yeah.
I don't see that as a loss, to be honest.
No, no. I don't think it's a particularly good no anything. I really, so I was fully prepared to try with Spyfall.
Why did he name
Um
a company Vor?
it stands for very obvious reason. Oh, that may make me remember. Which building is it? That one there. There's one building. There's only one building. Why are you
Well,
just
it's...
cut it on the day?
That's the thing. It's the exact same reason as to why the Doctor, what is it? When they enter the Temple of Atropos with the passengers, trying to stop Swarm and stuff, they wait for them to explain how the passengers work and destroy two before she unveils, "I had a passenger all along, and all this time I could have stopped you, but I didn't because the audience needed the exposition."
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's Humble Victorious gloating, but I didn't actually do that. I feel like not on purpose, but if I were to retroactively explain it in my Doctor Who book, who do you think you are? I would.
Ah,
That's
that's
how
that's
I
the
would
title for
justify it.
season 11.
Probably. Uh,
We still haven't got a title. Oh my god.
yeah. 'Cause nothing fucking happens. She pretends she's gonna go home alone and guilts them into hanging out with
Hmm.
her.
The ratings that fell to Earth.
You could just say the woman who fell to Earth. People were like, I thought it was Grace, but she's gone, so I guess the Doctor was the woman who fell to Earth.
I never made
The
that
show,
connection.
the show that fell off the planet. You didn't realize because at the end of the episode, he goes, "So that was my
No, but like
mom."
I always took it as like, oh, it's the Doctor falling into their lives. I wasn't like, oh, Grace was a bit high up and then she fell to Earth and fucking
I'm pretty
died.
sure that's what Ryan implies at the end.
Oh, yeah,
Was
sure.
it?
But like he doesn't know what the episode title is.
No, but he said the story about the woman who fell. I'm pretty sure. I never really. It was a JXE who said like he's shown no interest in being a YouTuber at any
Yeah,
other
no,
point.
it's like,
Who's
wouldn't it be
watching
amazing
this?
if this was a passion that he had? I also
Yeah.
have those things. What are they called? Poor interpersonal skills.
What if this was a character trait? No? Oh, okay. I don't know. What's the whole thing? Everything in that.
Yeah,
Oh, she's a cop and Indian? That must be interesting in a racist country.
yeah,
Oh no, it's not a.
she's an ex-cop. She's on a sabbatical. And now she's not a cop, except she'll sometimes introduce herself as a cop. Um,
Established authority and trust, you know?
oh yeah, sure, but like, commit, please. Stop changing your mind, Chris.
Yeah. I don't even know if he looked over the scripts that he didn't write. Doesn't seem like it.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, yeah, this is fine.
That's the thing. I can completely believe that he wrote episode 1 and 3. Episode 2, I think, was held by someone differently.
Yeah, I still don't like episode 2 because it just
Yeah,
feels like
no.
none of the Doctor stuff matters, the way it's handled. But yeah,
I think for a
isn't the theory
serialized
that it
story,
was?
like, it's possibly far worse.
Yeah, I think
It's a
it was.
waste of
Isn't the
time.
theory that like it was written and like partly shot at least before COVID, so that's why it's the
I,
way that it is.
I don't know exactly, but I would believe that.
Yeah, so
Because, like,
like, oh, we have this.
yeah, I get the feeling that, like, they commissioned a whole bunch of scripts, but then COVID happened. Um,
Yeah,
I can't remember. I think it was like Mr. TARDIS Reviews did a video going like, there's these people who have in their sort of like resume that they've written for series 13, but like they don't have a writer's credit in the episodes and stuff. That like it sort of makes sense that Chibnall probably compiled just like the best bits of other people's work and stapled on his own fan fiction.
yeah. It just,
It's a shame.
I can't believe. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted more Moffat, to be honest. I
No.
think he'd done most of his good ideas, but I wish we had more Capaldi. And
Yeah.
like, I think the reason I'm only excited for Russell is because it has been so long, and he's clearly changed as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
If it was right away, I'd be like, oh. I like that. This is the closest BBC are going to get to saying we fucked up because getting the old crew back and
Yeah. It's like, why would you do that unless oh, why would you bring back the guy who brought the show back after it was cancelled?
yeah.
If you think it's in a very healthy state.
Well, it's hemorrhaging viewers, as we've seen. All the headlines, like even if this is being received better, it's still got nobody watching it.
Yeah.
Where are maybe it's just the algorithm, but like where are the video essayists talking about the modern era in a positive way? Because I know we were critiquing the Moffat era and it was happening too, but people were still talking about it, engaging with it. I haven't seen that passion for this era.
Yeah, well, the passion I think comes from the creatives who no, not creators, but like audiences who don't have that creative spark to talk about it in a multimedia format. Um,
Yeah.
like I don't think these episodes are really being made to be critical. Like I keep describing it as like it's Doctor Who on cruise control, like it's substanceless stuff. But then it becomes really frustrating when the show does take those big swings and goes like timeless child, and it's like, oh no, this cruise control thing's actually cruising control into a crowd.
Yeah. There are problems with how it's choosing to.
Yeah,
As you say, it's not even just like, oh, we don't like the stories they're telling. It's not even just like we don't like the way it's going or how it's edited. It's every aspect from like I said with the crystals, from the production side up.
yeah.
It feels amateur.
The one
So
thing
I don't know.
The one thing I think I would definitely praise it for is like when they redesign villains, like the Cyberman designs, possibly some of my favorite of the modern era. Just of like the blend of like the bulky helmets from the classic series and the sort of slender bodies of the modern era.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's
I
quite good.
agree.
The murky grubbiness of the Sontarans, that's pretty damn good. I don't like the Daleks, but they're still quite distinct from like the Time War era ones that the modern era has been using for like the past 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's like those things specifically, they've been doing pretty well at. But when that's my point of praise, it's like, oh, you're in a really bad state.
Yeah. It's sorry. I'm trying to find proof that it was recolored.
Look, you don't need
So
to
I
find
found
proof.
this
I
is
believe you.
This is 11th TARDIS interior. I'm going to send it to. I'm going to post it in this Discord in Doctor Who. And even looking at these pictures, I still don't really understand the layout of this ship, of this console room. There's a screen here. Like what? Where are those steps? Let me see the main room. Where are those steps
Oh,
that
I'm
they
looking
sit
at
on?
this console and I'm going, I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah. Well, if you
Oh,
look,
the round
the steps
things
they
look
sit on.
terrible. Wait, hang on. How is there
Yeah.
light coming in? Where's the light source coming in from?
The glowy crystals.
No. It's
Oh,
like
around the door.
not around the door. It's
Yeah.
well, no, it's on one of the round walls. It's like the one under the door. Um, it looks like there's a window, and it's like if it's bigger on the inside, where's the window?
Yeah, that's it. The windows in Paris. Actually, that would be fun with a. Anyway. But if you look down, like, so if you scroll down past the quirky features and look at TARDIS theme blue, and there's a master talking to Jodie on the stairs, right?
Um, let's
Oh,
see.
it does
Oh
have a
God,
phone.
that
What
does
did I
look like
forgot?
it looks like a dead spider curled up the crystals.
Yeah, that's kind of gross action to say it like that. But if you scroll up to the main picture of the bit of the control room, the widest view of it. Where are those stairs?
Um, you know what? Hmm.
There are two wide shots of this, and I still don't know where the one feature of this room is.
I can't
But it
tell
has a
you.
custard cream dispenser, so that's pretty fun.
That showed up in one episode and was never used again.
It's in Ghost Monument, apparently.
Yeah, it's at the end. She like stands on puts her foot on the pedal and that causes it to I don't mind the blue lighting.
No, but it's an ugly design, and it's so cluttered. It's just so cluttered.
Oh god, yeah, I'm looking at the projection of the master and I'm just going like,
Yeah,
where is that?
that's what I'm saying. They're the stairs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know
Are
where
they?
they are.
No,
Any
those are the
aren't
stairs that I
they?
was talking about. The stairs are like just
Oh,
regular like stepping stairs.
oh. Where the fuck is that bit? Because this
Uh
is in the TARDIS. It has to be.
if you go to the TARDIS
Oh yeah, the
medical
stairs just
equipment,
surrounds the middle bit. Yeah, yeah. Is those the steps you
are
meant? Just
they?
like around the base.
I could believe
I
they're
don't
just
know.
it's just a circle pattern.
It's just so cluttered. And
I
yet, on some of these shots, there's so much empty space.
yeah, I'm just not a fan. This is awful.
It just clearly wasn't thought about for filming
Hmm.
at all.
Compare
Because,
that to the 360-degree set that the Capaldi TARDIS was. They're like
oh, beautiful.
you could go in there, you could shoot from any angle and it's gonna look gorgeous. Because like there's no blank bits, there's no
Yeah.
gaps in the set. It's just like a room.
Well,
A
if you
ro-
look at the time spent in in them, they spent so much more time in the Tenant one and in the Moffat ones than they do in the you know what I mean? Than they do in the current
yeah.
one. They just spend no time in it.
Well, that's
Man, actually, this is quite a cool resource, actually, having all the TARDIS interiors. Make a video just about that. Um,
ooh. Yes, I would like to open this link.
Because the Series 5, I mean, there's a lot going on, admittedly. But maybe just how all these shots are quite crowded too.
It
But
feels very characterful because like yeah you got the
yeah,
bright orange but you can still basically tell what's going on. You know that there's the main console and it's above a sort of glass
yeah.
thingo that you can go
And there's
under.
stairs that go up either way, right and out, like to more TARDIS area.
Yeah,
It feels very sci-fi submarine, as we said, like steampunk, and has like the really big screen.
Yeah.
Series 7. Series 8's Capaldi's,
Yep.
yes. Show me the money.
I like that we both clicked on it
Ah,
at the same time and go like, oh, it's gorgeous.
it's so good. It's so good. And it has such a clear sense of it. And it feels like a more somber. It feels like, because he's often, I mean, he's extravagant in some ways, but he's not trying, like bookshelves is quite extravagant, but he's not as loud as Smith is, needing a bright orange.
Yeah. Like I
At least
think
Smith has.
the most sort of bombastic Capaldi gets in his TARDIS is like sometimes he'll play the electric guitar, but even that fits in with this environment.
Yeah. Oh, with Beethoven's Fifth.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Series 7. Wait. Yeah, look at Series 7 TARDIS interior. That's the sad Smith one. I just don't think it's particularly nice.
Yeah, it's missing things. It's too bright.
Yeah. And it doesn't really have, like, it's a lot of just blank metal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's why the Capaldi version is like, oh, gorgeous. Dress it up.
Yeah. Look at Series 1 though anyway, and just like go look at Series 1. I know it's like an ugly color and it feels very much like a Daleks look. But the room they have to move around it, it feels kind of both sparse and characterful. Like they really focus on the console, but it's this
Yeah.
big open room. So it still gives you that impression you walk in and go, wow, it's this massive space without having to be crowded, I guess. And the organic shapes aren't as, the crystals are looming over so close. Look how, if you look at the main picture of the Series 1 TARDIS, there's actually so much floor space.
Yeah. I'm really appreciating like you can see through the floors. There's like cables and shit under that. So it feels like this
Yeah.
thing is it's not just this main console, it sort of extends beyond it, which is
Yeah.
very very
Yeah. Yeah.
important for this thing to feel like a an operating uh life form.
Yeah. It's got a great combination of like stuff going on, but it's not so crowded you can't function in it.
Yeah.
Like, you can film so many places in there. Anyway, I better hop off, but
Yeah. Well,
I love
I'm
this
gonna be ending
recess.
stream
All
anyway.
right.
To,
Thank you. Nice talking to
to my
you.
one viewer, which is just me.
That's the way it goes.
Hmm.
If you if you
I get
if
more.
you title your stream,
I usually get more people in if I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just gonna be talking to people probably, so I'm just gonna play something in the background that requires zero brain.
I'm sure if you titled like discussing Doctor Who Series 13 question
I'll
mark
get negative
theories.
viewers,
People want to come just to rage.
right? Maybe I'll do that for
Actually,
the Friday
could,
stream.
could you play a Doctor Who game on stream?
Here's the thing. Do you remember the game? What is it? 2048? It's like
No.
you've got a grid and you can move up, down, left, or right, and all the pieces will go in that direction until you get the numbers, which are the tiles in the game, to equal the number 2048. And it's like you connect two tiles that have the same value, and they'll create like the next value up. So like you start with 2, then it goes to 4, then 8, then 16, 32, 64, 128, and just on and on and on. Um,
Okay.
so there's a Doctor Who version of that where you start off with the first Doctor and you can just like move him across the grid, get more first Doctors, and you just go up all the way to 13.
Okay. Well, Family Called Dalek Attack, which seems
Right.
like an actual game.
Well, I mean,
But
like
yeah, that doesn't.
it's the
Hang
sort of
on.
thing that I would play if I was just in a stream talking to people, because again, it
Yeah.
requires zero brain.
So I just found there's a card game from the Flux series called Doctor Who Flux.
What the flux?
Yeah. Probably has a better story. Games night? Better story?
Hmm.
So it's caps. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, catch you around.
Yeah.
Goodbye and goodbye, stream.